again, I gotta get that guy a little bit more towards me.
You might want to bring that.
Bring this arm in
Yeah. Oh no, I coughed.
like that. Oh no, he's got it. How close?
Yeah, just so that it's like going to be like
In front of
relatively close to your face. Yeah,
Got it.
because I'm going to be on monitor here.
Now Kyle's out of the picture.
All right. How do you think that is?
How does it
Good.
look?
It's what?
Good.
Oh, that looks good. Yeah, you're going to
Looks
be
good?
a little
Am I gonna be able to chop
bit.
off?
Yeah, here. Let's.
Right like that.
Yeah, if you need me to scooch,
Stick
I
with that.
have no issue.
What do we got?
Bunch of
We've got a
people.
first. All right.
Oh, we got a first.
Got it first. Now we got to do a sound check.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
You're going to want to bring that closer to your face. I can tell you. It's wherever you're going to be sitting.
Okay. Hold on a minute. Man, really that close?
Yeah.
Is that good?
Yeah.
All right.
That
These
sounded
things
a lot
are
better.
pretty. These things are like the Audio Technicas are way hotter
Yeah.
than what you're in.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're gonna adjust them.
He's 2. So speak
Okay.
if you want to do some testing.
All right. Are we good?
Yeah,
How are we?
That sounds pretty good.
Sweet.
Okay.
And
Testing on me.
right.
Testing on me. Testing on me. Testing
we
on
go.
me.
I'm going to say
Good.
that's good.
Okay. We all sound good.
6 feet apart. We tried.
We tried. We tried.
Getting everyone in the shot. was
Social
the-
distancing.
Yeah.
Right. All right. So welcome. This is RCR podcast. I don't know what. I'm Brian.
I'm Ben.
And I'm Kyle.
Ben Wright is our old intern from a few weeks ago.
Weeks?
I didn't even start drinking
Years.
yet. From a few years ago.
I just remember you doing the TC one, the
That's
TC
right.
video.
Yeah. All right. I don't want to cut you off.
Oh, sorry.
But I want to disclaim the TC recording.
Okay, go ahead.
I recorded that at 11 p.m. in my girlfriend's closet at her house. So
Yeah.
I had to be quiet. I would have, of course, been more animated, but I regrets. But it was the closest thing I had to a recording booth because I had clothes and stuff all around me.
If it's
It
any
sounded good, though.
consolation, I
Yeah.
enjoyed it.
Thank you. Thank you. I had fun writing it. That was the most fun.
We're going to be doing Toyota questions here today.
Woo!
Kyle is our Toyota expert. You've seen a number of his cars on RCR. You've seen the TRD Pro Tacoma. You saw the
2013 Corolla S.
yeah.
Yep.
Is that a 5 manual?
Yes, it was.
5-speed.
5-speed manual. Yep. And soon to be another one.
Yeah, that's you'll see
Are we-
eventually.
okay. Cool.
Undisclosed. at the
Yeah, I
moment.
was like, what are we sharing?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a reason we're all here together.
Yeah, we filmed two two reviews today. It was a lovely day here in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
It's almost
Yep.
60 degrees. It might have even been 60 degrees.
Yeah, it was getting there.
So we got to enjoy the weather. There was sun on me. Everything for a while. We felt like normal people
Yeah.
in all this. But now we're here with you guys. So if you're home alone and just looking for ways to pass time, we'll be with you. I got to get a beer in me. I got food,
Sure.
cooking.
Mhm.
You have some protein bars. Can I get
Oh,
you a water or anything?
I'll take a water. Yeah. See,
Okay.
I already downed those bars.
I'm gonna get a beer for myself. We will do super chats. It'll probably take me a while. They $10,000 lift because why not? Almost never gets used anyways.
You got
I
it.
hear
use
you,
it.
Quinn. Hey, great. Anything with a lift makes it easier to have access to
I
one of
wish
these
I had a
things.
lift.
Oh, we just put one in at my house, and it's
Oh my
fantastic.
goodness.
Yeah.
I live in townhouses. I own 3 cars and a motorcycle, and I don't have a garage.
Oh.
So that's my life.
So I'm gonna get you a water. I'm gonna get a beer for myself. I'm gonna check. I'm gonna be checking on my food, which is cooking in the other room. But thankfully, we have 3 people. Feel free to answer any
Yes.
questions that goes by, and don't worry
Yeah.
if you ask a super chat. We actually let me get a.
Yeah. I
Pump the
literally.
tab.
Yeah. I hate
Yeah,
that I
tab.
can't really see. I have to
I can-
go all
You
the way
can just
over.
grab this and turn. it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Fortunately, that's not the actual webcam. So
Truth. Yes.
I'm gonna try to keep an eye on the chat and if they tell us about audio stuff because I'm trying to listen.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
Normally we don't have monitors in this. Between Nick and I, it's just kind of fine.
yeah.
We set it and then we just maintain
Set it.
mic discipline. But with
forget.
3 people, thank you for monitoring.
No
everything with
problem.
The
Yes.
headphones.
Obviously, I got a little bit of experience
Yeah.
in this.
So Jonathan Cannon doesn't have a question, but thank you anyway.
Hey.
Acknowledge. Ralph82 says audio sounds good. Great. I'm going to get
My
beer
hero.
and water.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you again. Many
So
thanks.
yeah, we were talking Toyotas. We talked about the cars you've had
Yes.
reviewed.
Yeah.
You had it was the Tundra,
Tacoma.
You had a Tundra.
I've had 2.
Jeez. He's had a lot of Toyotas. If you got
Yeah.
questions about that, I keep wanting to
And
look at that, but-
Subarus as well. Toyota and Subaru are the 2 main disciplines on this
Which
end
is-
of the table.
which is appropriate considering that they're sharing a bed these days.
Oh yeah, they've been. They've been. I mean, I think Toyota just interjected a ton more money. Sure. Thank you.
Lemon water.
Gotta love it.
True host. True host. The hostess with
Yes.
the most weight. But no, so yeah, you've had a couple of cars reviewed. I've had a couple cars reviewed. I still have the AE82 Corolla. It's been sitting in a barn with a blown head gasket for over a year. But and I also had was that the only one I've had reviewed? Is that the only one of my cars we've actually reviewed was my Corolla?
Thank you, sir.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I had a motorcycle that we were going to review, and then I sold it, and then I just got another motorcycle that we'll probably review. And then I have another car that we did today, but I can't share that yet. Got to keep you waiting.
Yes.
Anyway,
Surprises.
I'm just going to jump in right here. Nissan Frontier guy, why a Toyota? That's for you.
Honestly, for me, they just do it. As bland and as boring as that is, it's just they just kind of blend the most functionality and reliability in for the money. That's really what it is.
That's fair. And then for the money is hard. I mean, I don't buy new cars. Like I buy shit boxes. It's what I do.
And I'm on both ends of the spectrum. I've had my shit boxes and I've had my new cars and everywhere in between at this point.
Yeah. But that's like, I know that I have a family friend who has a Frontier. It's like a 2006 or something. And I've
Yeah.
heard this when Nissan was like, not doing so hot. So, but his has been, and he actually went from a Tacoma to a Frontier. So either or, I guess. It was like he was burning through something, like whether it was like brake rotors or something. Probably a weird, stupid issue.
Something odd.
Who are these people? Says so. Brian will be here in a sec.
Yes, he's coming.
But
I mean, the Frontiers are solid trucks, though. I mean, I think I know some of the early 4-liter V6s had timing chain problems with the guides because they cheaped out and used plastic instead of metal for a timing chain guide.
Right,
but
that's the Nissan thing.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's a
that
Nissan
was
thing. Yep.
something that I had heard about. Was like,
But yeah,
just
they're
cheap
solid.
parts.
Yeah, no gripes. I like them.
Yeah, there's like the Pro 4X, I think is there. I
Yes.
just think TRD sounds better, and that's my 2 cents on
Well,
this.
yeah, I mean, it's a brown show and turd, so it
Yeah.
goes hand in hand.
Well, that's like there's people that call their Frontiers front turds.
That's true too.
Nice choice.
That is true too.
Yeah.
So on Ben's recommendation, my first beverage of the evening is going to be Sweetwater 420 strain Mango Kush Wheat Ale. Supposedly they all taste like
They
they
smell,
smell like weed.
They smell. That's like the thing.
Here
Is you
comes the-
crack it.
Here
and
comes the audio clip.
ASMR.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dude, it smells like Kutztown.
dude, right?
Dude, it
Isn't
smells like a college party.
smells like Kushtown, bro. I'll drink to
Oh.
that. But
Oh wow, that is pungent. I smell that over here.
we got another super chat. Have any of
Will
us
Downs. Hello, Will.
have we owned older Hondas? I
Yep.
I wish
Have-
I did.
actually have,
Motorcycles, yes.
yes. So I've only owned 2 older Honda motorcycles. I had an 81 CM400E. I currently have an 82 CM450C, which is great. I'll probably keep it forever.
I have had a 1982 Honda CM250C.
Ah.
I have had a 1985 Honda CX500. Or is it CL or GN? It's the Silverwing. I think it's the GL 500 was the Silverwing. The CX.
What year?
1985, I believe.
I looked at one of those actually. Alongside the same person who owned that had a 85 Interceptor.
It's a pushrod engine that revs to 10,000 RPM,
Wow.
and it has I
Take
think
that,
2 valves per
Mustang.
cylinder. It's great. The guy who had it before me had a stupid Mac 2-in-1 exhaust, no baffles, and it was loud as
Oof.
shit. I didn't like that.
Waking
But
up the
hey, it was a
neighbors.
comfortable bike, had air suspension. You pumped it up. It had a shaft drive. You just filled the rear thing with gear oil, and that's it. No more chain to lube.
nice.
Nice.
That was super nice.
I would like that.
Gotta
Heavy
love it.
bike.
Yeah.
Headlight was piss yellow. I put a Silver Star in it, and it helped a little bit. It was a liquid cooled bike. So, and it had a radiator, and the fan ran off the cam.
Hmm.
Like the center, it had an in cam and block. So
Okay.
that's what ran off of it. A lot of people said, get rid of that, put an electric one on there.
Hmm.
I did watch the temperature fluctuate and was kind of nervous, which is why I like typically air-cooled bikes. There's no coolant. I mean, that oil could be boiling in there. I don't know. And then it's
Yeah.
out of sight, out of mind. Just keep filling it with oil.
If
Mhm.
it stops and seizes, it stops.
Yeah.
You know?
I won't know anything's bad until
What's
the red light turns
friction?
on.
Yeah.
But
Nick H just says amateur.
anime turns.
Mhm. I'm
Big
getting
titty
I'm
goth
getting
GF.
cold already. So
Yeah.
where's my pullover?
Oh
I'll
man.
probably be sweating
course.
again. So
Ah,
once
man,
I
I'm
drink more.
yeah, like
Yeah.
I'm saying I'm overheating. Thank God he got me some ice.
So he's drinking the Mango Kush Wheat Ale. I just found out that there's new 420 strain beers, so I grabbed a couple of those. This one is pull this off.
The pull-out method.
420 strain Be Real Insane OG Mexican style craft lager. I don't know.
What the fuck I'm rolling in a Mack truck that's stolen?
Exact-
That's what I'm holding.
Yeah.
How to bust my load. Still I'm easing on down the Yellow Brick Road. So
Yeah.
what do you know? A pig in a plain brown wrapper comes.
Speaking of Mack trucks,
down.
I saw a Mack
Warn
cab
ya, let me
over
just
truck
warn
today on the way here, and I was
Boo-hoo. Where you
very
gonna run
happy.
to? Will I pull out the Scooby Doo?
How much of that? Yeah,
Like I love Cypress Hill. I never
Yeah.
really talk about it.
that's funny. Because you know what, my like introduction to Cypress Hill was they were on like a Dead Mouse track on like an album,
Really?
a Dead Mouse album I accidentally bought,
Huh.
and yeah,
That's usually
Yeah,
like the best
someone's
purchases.
texting
It's
me.
always when like you never mean to buy something, but it just turns out better because you have no expectations.
Mhm.
It's like, hey, check this out.
like my vehicle that we reviewed today that I
Mm.
didn't expect to buy, and then I did.
Jeff
And I love it.
Weissman asking if I want to hike this weekend, and we're looking at the weather. Hey Jeff, if you're watching this right now, it's looking like rain.
yeah,
Yeah,
Like we were supposed to film this Saturday, and again looking like rain. So I don't know. I'm kind of over filming in the rain. Like I've done it a few times because we ran out of cars and I was lazy and I have to buy one, but or buy one, get one.
Mhm.
But
that was why I
I'm-
hit
I'm-
you up on
yeah.
short notice. I was like, today's gonna be like the only
Mhm.
good day this week. I was like, let's just
yeah,
do
let's
it.
just do this.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's
And
done. I'm glad
getting
we did
cabin
it.
fever from this
Oh,
friggin'
yeah.
thing too. So
yeah.
And thanks for coming over.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
this
Dude,
is this is
anytime.
good
I'm
vibes.
isolated
Total
on my
pleasure.
own, so I know that I'm a low risk.
Mhm.
And I'm like,
Yeah, my gym is closed, my cafe's closed.
Mhm.
yep, everything is closed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been going insane because I haven't been able to go to the gym.
yeah,
Because I'm like,
Sucks.
I mean, I'm like you. I'm a gym rat, so
Yeah.
I'm there every day, and that's like a third of my life, and
Yeah.
it's gone.
And also it's like I love to eat, but it's okay because I just do go to the gym all the time.
Yeah,
and now
work
like
it right off.
for the first 2 days of this, I tried to limit my cardio intake. Just doing oatmeal for breakfast, a bowl of meat, like chicken,
Mhm.
rice,
Mhm.
and vegetables. That's my lunch. And then don't have dinner till 6. And I did it for 2 days. And honestly, my stomach was kind of tight. And like, all right, I think I could do this. Third day, I just got sad. And it
Yeah.
was probably your body
Yes.
just complaining.
Yeah.
Like,
It
we're
is.
used to eating, start eating. And I'm like, but
Mhm.
we're not burning any calories. And your
Right.
body's like, but it's the end times.
Mhm.
So eventually I'm like, fuck it. And then I ate it. I ate a half pound of ground beef half pound of ground beef alone, ground beef and broccoli.
But that's not bad though, because you have eliminated the carbs, so that's
I got
good. Yeah.
quinoa.
Oh, okay, that's still fine though.
Yeah,
As
there
long
was
as it's
some- there
not
was some rice in there.
refined. That's still fine.
quinoa's fire. I
It-
just
it is.
recently discovered that
What
um,
is
quinoa.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it
was
is
like,
really
oh my
good.
goodness. Yeah,
You need to put some stuff in it, like butter I mean, it is a bit chewy, but I guess I'm used to like jasmine and basmati rice. So
Right.
it isn't as fluffy and fun, but it is really good for you.
It is. Like I said, as long as it's not like a refined carbohydrate, you're pretty much in the clear.
Yeah, like at my grocery store, they're all sold out of plain old sliced white bread.
Of course.
But all the good bread is still there.
Yeah.
Like the stuff they bake they have a bakery there.
Yep.
They'll
Yeah.
bake you real bread.
Mhm.
Is anybody buying that? No.
Nope.
So I bet all the tofu's there, like full heads of broccoli. Great. I'll just have a full head of broccoli.
yeah,
I know we shouldn't be talking about this. We're giving away our secrets.
I know.
yeah. Right. You can't find chicken around me. There's
Really?
just
Yeah,
goat
there's no chicken. Yeah. I think the only thing that's like really left over is like salmon.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like not a seafood guy,
Me
so yeah.
We got plenty of sausage at my place.
Well, that's good.
Of course we do.
Mhm.
You know.
Ah.
Yeah. Okay. Should we do some super chats?
Yeah,
Or
for
this
sure.
is so
Let's.
new to me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
we go back and forth.
It's
very
funny
much
because
enjoy this.
I've watched, and I
This
usually,
is how we save them all. All I have to do is just keep refreshing.
Okay.
They
Huh.
save it for you.
Oh, that's
gotta
great.
love it.
So we just look at the picture on the side.
we were talking anime titties, okay, older Hondas, okay, and then I think
Kai Taunt says, thought on the 1978 Honda Hawk 400 with the Honda-matic transmission. Got one of those in my first bike, and I love it. I saw a few of them when I was in Kutztown, which means college, and I was curious, and I saw them sometimes come up for sale for like $600 to $800. Now this is 2007.
yeah. So $1 million.
But it's a 2-speed crash box. It's an automatic in that there's no clutch lever, but you still have to shift it with your foot.
okay.
Okay.
Because
But
I know that like there's like the tiny the Trail 70s that are like little 3-speeds that you just smack in
Yeah,
to gear. Okay.
it's kind of like that, but I don't know if the Trail 70s were clutchless.
I think they were. I mean, I'm remembering this. I went to Martin Moto, had their Modern Classics show recently. And there were a couple of them there. I'm pretty sure those were the same kind of deal where you just
They work
think-
similar
wrong.
to a four-wheeler, and then a
Mm.
four-wheeler sometimes they don't have clutches. You just crash them. The Honda-matic, I think, would reset to first gear. Those 2 speeds, high and low. I think it would reset to first gear when you would come to a traffic light. And even if it didn't, so what? It just clicked down one.
Yeah.
Back at the light. And there also is a click in the middle for neutral or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Was there something odd?
No,
going on
I
with
was
the
just
mixer?
checking. I
Yeah, I was
don't
gonna
know if it's
say,
odd, but no, we're good.
I was gonna say full disclosure, I am no bike guy.
Yeah.
I have things of like as far as the bikes that I like. I like Ducatis and I think cross tours are pretty sweet.
Mm-hmm.
But and those BMW.
Oh, when you burp, it smells like weed.
Yo, I believe that. I'm a little upset with this one because like for a Cypress Hill
Wow.
branded thing,
I even got a whiff of that over
expected it
here.
to crack this one and it didn't. But no, and as far as my knowledge on bikes, that was like I remember when I was an intern, you were like, "All right, we're gonna have you review a bike." I was like, "I just got my license." Like I was like, and then that ended up falling through, thank goodness. But I felt a lot more comfortable reviewing the TC.
Yeah.
Because my experience with bikes was like I went and I did my test on a Suzuki TR250, and then I went to Hawaii and rented a Kawasaki Versys 650.
Nice.
I didn't like it. All the
Oh,
weight was
really?
like in your stomach. It was very top heavy.
Mm.
And then my dad had rented a KLR 650 at the same time.
That's a pig. That's a pig.
Yeah, he hated that because he
I've
it
never
was,
ridden
again,
one.
Yeah.
I liked my DR 650.
Mhm.
You are tall when you're on top of that.
Yeah, yeah. And that's the thing is like my dad and I are not physically tall. So
Mm.
we're like, it was a little bit, tippy toes kind of deal. And they weren't the best maintained. They were rental
Mhm.
bikes. So it was like kind of
Mhm.
iffy on that. But he has a 71 Triumph Bonneville.
Okay.
Like British bike, legit from England. Like controls are on the other side.
No way.
So he's like, yeah, no one's allowed to ride it but me.
All right.
They're a cool looking bike though.
It's a
actually.
nice looking thing.
Yeah.
And that's the cool thing about modern Bonnevilles and all that is like they totally look like the old ones.
Mhm.
And then of course I've had the 1981 and the 1982 Honda, so I don't have much experience. And I rode your bike.
Yeah.
Which is I don't remember
My-
Suzuki.
2008 Suzuki GSX 650F.
Yeah.
And you still have that bike?
Yeah.
Nice.
Now it
Really
has
cool.
when you rode it. Well, the luggage pod comes off the back. It's an aftermarket thing. That helps a ton. It was so weird because it was marketed as a sport touring bike that came with no luggage. So what? It's really a
It's like, can you wear a backpack?
Yeah, right.
wearing a backpack. I'm so over wearing a backpack.
I bet it's got to be
That
really
pod is
uncomfortable.
I mean, your bike has like a sissy bar and like a luggage thing on it.
Mm-hmm.
You get something on that, it looks weird, but then you forget about it when you're riding because it's behind you,
Mhm.
and suddenly you don't have this weight pulling on your shoulders.
Mm.
It makes no difference.
Are you just talking about like the difference between backpack
backpack
versus,
and luggage pod?
Yeah.
Luggage
it.
pod is a way to go.
Definitely.
Yeah, mine's got a nice little pocket on the little sissy bar back
Mhm.
thing, which I'm probably gonna take off because I've got handlebars from a 1977 CB550.
Nice.
So I'm gonna put those on there.
Yeah.
I'm probably just gonna get rid of the back, the whatever sissy bar and luggage rack, just to change the look of it a bit. I've got a headlight from a VT 750, which is what I can't remember what those were even called. Was it a Nighthawk? I don't know.
Mhm.
Don't judge me. but I got a headlight that I need to retrofit because that uses a standard H4 halogen bulb, and mine's is H4 sealed beam. So it's like, good luck finding a sealed beam. For
the challenge is going to be because
see.
on those bikes from the 80s, they use the headlight bucket to house
For
all the
wiring.
wires. Oh my God.
I'm not looking forward to that part.
No. And the thing is, you need like a hairdryer or something like that because those wires in there have been in that position for 30 years.
My bike,
gonna probably just
my bike was in storage
crumble.
since 1997. He pulled it out in 2019, put a new battery in it, cranked it over, started up. He's like, all right, cool, I'm selling it.
Yeah.
And then I just happened to like look, because normally like I live around Philly, so I'm like Philly Craigslist, Reading Craigslist. And then I just happened to look Harrisburg, and he was in Carlisle, and he had already, the bike had already gone down, so I snagged it.
Yeah.
And he was like, realistically, how much would you have paid for this bike? I was like, what you're selling it for? Because that was my budget.
Yeah.
And I got a really nice bike for that, because like,
that's good.
So what? The chrome is corroded.
So
I'll
what?
just take some mother's
It's a
wax.
freaking
to
80s
it.
Honda.
Give it some TLC.
And
During
that's
the
it.
apocalypse, that's what you want. You want an 80s Honda.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah.
so quiet.
Yeah. Just a little bit of puff.
Yeah,
That's it.
it's a lovely thing.
How Hourly B, Hourly B says, and thank you for your donation. Any chance of you guys coming up to Boston? This question comes up a lot. I do want to come to Boston. It would be a challenge to film within Boston. Boston doesn't like cars. We'd have to film outside Boston.
Is that just
Boston
from like
was-
elevation changes and such?
No, it's
or
a
just
city
like-
that was built before cars.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's exactly.
Okay. Fair. Yeah,
like-
I don't get around much if you haven't realized. Lucky I made it out here, but definitely very happy to be here.
You know what? You're not running a front plate, are you?
On my car?
Or did I not notice the front
No,
plate?
it's on there.
Yeah, no, it is on there.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
that's what I was thinking.
And I'm
I was
also very upset that I didn't get a chance to transfer my other plates.
like, do you have like a vanity plate or something?
yeah, from
I'm
the
gonna
other
check
car.
on my meat.
So yeah, I eventually, well, you know, when this whole crisis is over,
Yeah.
hopefully I'll get that transferred, but we'll see.
Are you at liberty to say what your vanity plates are?
Well, yeah. If anybody saw the 2013 Corolla
Right.
plate, you'll see it.
Was it like it was
Slow roll.
Okay. I know that there was someone when I was going to school in Kutztown that was like outside of my ex-girlfriend's apartment, and they had like an FRS, and it was slow FRS.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's like
Well,
we know.
when are you going to transfer that plate to anything else? Like that's why when I had my Ford Focus, like my nickname is Ben Show, I didn't make a license plate that said Shocus, because then I'm limited to buying Ford Focuses.
Right,
and who wants to
exactly.
live that life? Because
Yep.
that was a ZX3, and that was my experience with Focuses, which was not great. If anyone has had one, you know.
Well, I like the ZX3s though in general.
They looked good, but they went through fuel pumps like nobody's business. It was,
Yeah.
and you had to like move it was, yeah. Fortunately, my
yeah.
dad was like still living in PA. He was willing to take on that work.
They're
for me.
fairly aesthetically pleasing for what they were.
That was the thing, is when I was a kid and they first came out, I was like, those are so cool. Oh my gosh. I saw the canary yellow one and like,
Yeah.
I want a Hot Wheel of it. And then,
Yep. And they made a Matchbox of one. I think I had.
Probably.
I think I had it, or I think I might have given it away.
Mhm.
I had a whole like mid 2000s like collection of Matchboxes that I gave away to a collector
Yeah.
for like next to nothing.
Exactly. Yeah, I had that too, where like
Mhm.
yard sale, $20 for the entire, like hundreds of them. None of them were in good condition. So I'm
Oh,
sure they
mine
weren't
were all
worth
mint.
anything. Yeah, no,
Mine
weren't
were
worth
all mint.
anything.
I was very kind to my belongings.
I am
try
now.
to be.
Since I've become an adult and started buying Hot Wheels, that's like a thing. Like I'm not. I see those guys at the store that are like on their phone looking for like the ones that are worth money. and
Right.
then they're like,
Yeah.
like I saw a dude legit just take all the Hot Wheels, put them into his cart at Giant, and then like just stand next to the Hot Wheel display and just start throwing the ones
Oh
back
my
into the
gosh.
display that weren't worth anything. And
Right.
I was like,
It's like we were talking about before when we were in Weiss. It's like,
Yeah.
you know, I just right now I am grown beyond the point of being a collector. I just get the ones that I like.
yeah,
And
yeah.
that's it.
Like if that car, I'm like, oh, that reminds me of something, you know, a Honda City Turbo. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, I want
Yeah.
that. Like,
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
one I just came
Oh.
across too?
Oh, when I was at the Lane Motor Museum, shout out to them. They want us back, and
I want to
come
go
back.
there so bad.
I want to. They have a Honda today.
No way. The one
Yeah.
with like the little circle headlights.
Oh, it's so precious.
It is. It really is. I love
It
them.
uses the engine from I believe the Honda Beat,
Mm-hmm.
but it's a hatchback. I think it's seats 4 seats.
Yes.
Mhm.
It's a little K car.
It is beyond
Adorable.
narrow.
Yeah.
Beyond narrow, but they're so cute. I love them. It's
Yeah.
almost gives you like Twingo vibes.
Mhm.
yeah.
I'm kind of over. What's the Figaro? I've seen it. I don't. I mean, if people want me to review it, they have like one or
Mhm.
two there, and you look at it. It looks like
The Nissan, right?
yeah, Nissan Figaro.
Yes.
It looks like
Right. I know. What
the
that is.
Yeah,
late.
bring up the picture.
Yeah, that's like the one that looks older
Oh,
than
yes.
it is. Yeah.
Yeah. It was meant to be like a retro thing.
But it's retro 90s. We didn't start
Yeah.
doing that retro stuff until the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, early 2000s when it
Wow.
really hit. Yeah.
But you get in it and it's like, oh, this is all like toggle switches and stuff, but it's 90s material and plastic and it's
Mhm.
all yellowing.
Right.
It has the texture and yellow color of an old fax machine.
It's like if you kept your Power Wheels.
yeah.
And like your Bigfoot Power Wheels, it's in the backyard,
Totally,
is like
yeah.
still wearing away.
Oh,
totally hits
the
the eye
interior
wrong.
of a Figaro yellows like an old Super Nintendo.
There you go.
That's
Mm.
Oh my
right.
goodness. Or my old Hess trucks that I have.
You
still.
had
Oh my
Hess
God.
trucks.
Oh, I had.
I still have mine. I went through like all my toys recently. That's why I was
Folks
bringing up that
overseas don't know
stuff.
what we're talking about.
Yeah, Hess
So
trucks.
there's this petrol company.
At
That-
least we're
that-
getting
called
cultured
Hess.
now.
Yeah, they're kind of gone.
Yeah.
They like sold off the Speedway or whatever.
Yo, that's right.
Yeah.
Because there used to be a Hess outside where the Sheets was coming out of Kutztown toward Reading, where they put the traffic circle in.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
Well, the
And that's,
Hess
yes,
corp-
right. And that's now a Speedway.
One of the Hess corporate offices was around the corner from my house in Woodbridge.
Really?
Oh,
Yep.
wow.
Yep, and it's now an Onyx building, and Onyx is, if you guys ever heard of Car ID, that they're partially in that building,
Mm.
which is pretty crazy.
I was like,
Mm.
You can still buy. They still sell the Hess trucks though. Actually, it's like an
Mhm.
online.
Yes,
thing.
they do. It's
They make
still
the
an annual
commercials for
thing
because
yeah.
you can't go Christmas without the Hess trucks here, like whatever that song.
Yeah,
is.
I still feel dirty for not buying them annually anymore.
yeah.
But,
Every
you know.
year, this gasoline company, gas station company, Hess, would sell toy trucks of their tanker trucks. They've been doing it since like the 50s.
Yeah.
And it was like a Christmas tradition. They would come out with a new Hess truck.
Mhm.
I had one of them, and they said it was too valuable for you to take home. It's staying at Grandma's house. Grandma died 2 years ago. I wonder what happened to that fucking Hess truck. And you would put batteries in them, and lights would
Big-ass
turn on, and
batteries.
everything. They would take like C batteries.
Yeah, some
something
would take
stupid.
C or like just too many double A's.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, because
Yep.
there was. I mean, and there was like
And then
it
they had
wasn't
lights
just
and sirens.
and it wasn't just the tanker. Half of the fun was
Mhm.
like
Yeah,
one
one
was
year
like-
it was a helicopter.
there was helicopters, a recreational vehicle.
Yeah, it would come with like a trailer, and sometimes it would
Some,
come
like,
with like a race
vehicle.
car.
Yeah.
So you get two toys in one.
you
Dude,
get
the
those-
one, the
those
one,
wind up where he's going.
Yeah. Dude,
It's
my
just a nostalgia trip right now.
my favorite one was the RV that had the pullout ramp for the little dune buggy. That was like
there
my
was a
favorite
dune buggy,
one.
and was that the same one? Wait, that's the RV.
Yeah,
I'm
and
thinking
it
of the
had a motorcycle-
helicopter.
It had a motorcycle,
that had a
crotch
motorcycle.
rocket. Too.
Yeah,
Yes, that
maybe
thing
that
was
was
awesome.
the RV, and I wasn't. Yeah,
Mhm. But they had an older RV too, like a Winnebago
Mm.
styled one.
I think that was like one of the last ones I got because it got spotty with me for like a couple of those years because I
Yeah.
was like in college and not getting Hess trucks for Christmas anymore because I was asking for money. But I don't know. Let's see. Super chat. I'll just go to the last one that was up. Let's see. Sipping on a thick. Oh, this is Bob. Bob.
What up,
That's my
Bob?
dad's name. It's a good name. Sipping on a thick Belgian ale at the moment. Chimay Blue. I don't pronounce things. But us, new guys, list our cars, past and present. You're going to need a while, so I'm
Oh,
going to go
God.
first. He needs a reference for future super chats, and that helps for anyone else too.
Yes.
So I think I mentioned I have. All right, so starting now, I daily drive a 2008 Toyota Yaris S. And yeah,
Rare,
apparently it's
rare,
rare. Didn't
rare.
know that.
Yep.
And then I also have the 1987 AE82 Corolla hatchback, which you can see the review. And then I have also a motorcycle, 1982 Honda CM450C. I have owned before that another motorcycle, 1981 CM400E. Cars before that, I had a Miata, 1994, an NA, the 1.8.
You're beautiful.
Racing exhaust, never should have sold that. And then before that was the Focus ZX3, and before that was my first car in 1998
Yeah,
Grand
ZX3.
Cherokee. I had a ZX3.
Huh.
Yeah, that was when I went to Pittsburgh. That was what
Oh,
I
okay.
had. So out of high school and going to Pitt. But yeah, that's what I've had. But the Focus I got because I wanted to drive manual, and my first car was a Jeep Grand Cherokee. So that was
Nice.
like my dad was just like, "You need to be safe." And
My lineage of vehicles. I don't even know how I'm gonna start with.
yeah,
this.
because I imagine you've got overlap. And
And
how many do you have right now?
Right now, I only have 2, and I'm
Okay.
trying to keep it that way.
Okay.
Mhm.
But over my lifetime, I've had 15 vehicles at this point. I'm 28, by the way.
Do the math.
And my very first car was a 02 Bug-Eye WRX 5-speed manual that had built up, had bolt-ons. It was going for a finalized tune. It was making around like 350-ish, 400-ish back in 09.
It's getting close to popping.
Oh yeah. But it unfortunately it got totaled out before we can even finalize the tune. I got kind of ran off the road and hit a tree with that guy, unfortunately. But that was the end of that.
That's how every one of my friends' GTIs ended.
Yeah.
In a tree.
Yeah, it sucks.
4 of them.
It's like the guy hit me right in the quarter panel and I went sailing over a curb. It was really bad. And you would think the all-wheel drive would help, but it was, wet out.
If there's anything I've learned from watching women's wrap-ups, it's that all-wheel drive does not equal domination in the rain.
No. As one of my friends used to say, all-wheel drive doesn't equal all-wheel stop. And he's right.
Yeah, there you go.
110% correct. Second vehicle was a 01 Impreza RS sedan. That's by far still my favorite vehicle. I kept it non-turbo, just resealed the engine when I got it because, leaking head gaskets, EJ251. That's the whole story with that. But, redid it with the multi-layered steel head gaskets. Car was basically a full resto. But unfortunately, I was going out to the with my ex-girlfriend at the time to the Carlisle import show they have in May, and I was 20 minutes from our hotel. After we had to replace her alternator on the en route there, I got hit at a stoplight by a handicap lady who was doing 50 miles an hour.
Like you got hit.
Yeah, I got rear-ended.
While you were stopped and they were doing 50.
Yep. And if my foot wasn't on the brake still, her car would have been destroyed.
Wow.
The only thing that happened to her car was a bumper cover, and like they had to replace just like the very back half of the unibody.
Oh man.
But it wasn't her car lived, mine was dead.
Oh, so what you're saying is like the old woman's car?
No, my girlfriend.
Your girlfriend was behind you?
She was in front of me.
Oh.
I was sandwiched.
Oh.
Yeah, I got sandwiched. Yeah, the lady who hit me was in a Santa Fe. Yep.
I almost got run off the road on a Santa Fe last time I drove down to South Carolina.
Oh my god,
that was fun. That was
yeah,
in the DC area.
I just if you drive a Santa Fe, I mean, it's like you're almost doing a public service by being, hey, just stay away from me.
Yeah.
I can't drive. No offense to anybody in the chat.
That's fair. We're across that line.
But
when I see mid 2000s Dodge Caravans,
dude,
I know someone had
just
a low
run.
point in their life.
Yeah.
Just run. I'm telling you, it's so bad. And then, all right, what the heck was next? Third vehicle was it was another RS Impreza. It was another Bug-Eye, but it was an RS Bug-Eye, non-turbo. Again, had to reseal that because I am a glutton for punishment.
Did those come in 2-door?
No, not the Bug-Eyes. Yeah,
Bug-Eyes
the first gen, like the one that got rear-ended, that was my favorite. And I ended up getting a coupe eventually, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had that one. The transmission, rear diff, and center diff actually all locked up on me one day when I was leaving work. Yep, the center diff went and just all blew everything apart. So I was going to tech school at the time.
Would you like some water?
Yes, that will help.
Okay.
Because I'm down one. I've finished one beer and pacing and all that. I guess responsibility and whatnot.
Yep. But yeah, that wasn't even worth fixing. Well, it was worth fixing. I just literally didn't have the time. Like I was going to tech school the next week. So I was packed up, ready to go. I was moving into my apartment. It was just a bad time. I took a huge loss on that car and ended up getting a 2010 Corolla XRS. Don't get excited. It's not the one with the 2ZZ. It had the TC engine, the 2.4 2AZ.
So
good engine.
Can you elaborate? Because like the only XRS, thank you very much. The only
Yes.
XRS research I've done is on the like 08 to or 06 to 08.
Yeah. Well, those are the desirable ones.
That's
So,
and then
yeah.
I knew that XRS came back later, and I thought it was more of an appearance package. You're telling me it had a different engine
Yeah, it
than
had
the
a-
like Corolla S?
Yes, yeah. The Corolla S, like the one that I eventually had that you guys saw the video on, this one had the 2.4 that was a Camry engine, and it was also in the TC, the first gen TC.
Okay.
And it was 165 horsepower.
Yeah.
It was a good solid car. I drove it for 3 years, didn't
Mhm.
give me a lick of problems. I had every same mod that you guys saw on the Corolla S video, I had on that
Yeah.
car as well. But
I love that Corolla. That's like what I want my Yaris to be. I said that earlier, but
solid, man. And then after that, I had a 2001 Toyota Tundra that I bought for really cheap right out of tech school. I wanted to prove to myself that I could do what I learned in school.
Yeah.
So I bought it for like $2,100
Nice.
off Craigslist. The thing was missing like crazy. It needed a
Mhm.
ton of maintenance, needed a timing belt, water pump, did all of that. You know, did the spark plugs, coil, you know, some of the coils.
Yeah.
Then I went to go bring it into the dealer to get it aligned, and lo and behold, you know, I needed a frame because those
no. Oh, yeah.
rotted through.
Those years of
Yes. So my buddy at the time, who unfortunately doesn't work there anymore, had a good buddy who was a service manager. You know, he did the frame check, got it okayed by Toyota, and there was a dime size hole right through the frame.
Wow.
Condemned it right there, then and there, and I got a new frame. Took 4 months for a frame to come in, but the job literally took 2 days. Dude had it in the bay, up, cabs gone up in
done.
there, slide the other one out, put the other one in, done.
That's nice.
And then I flipped it, and I made like 8K on that.
Wow.
Nice.
Yep. And that was when I got into my first Tacoma. I had a 2012 6-speed manual, double cab short bed, same configuration as my Pro now. Thing was fantastic. It was the 4-liter, the 1GR thing was absolutely fantastic.
Is that what the Forerunner review recently?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. 1GR.
Yeah.
FE. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Fantastic bulletproof motor. Yeah, I had that. And then at the same time that I had that, I had a project car that was an 87 Olds Cutlass.
You'd mentioned this a couple times today, and I'm like,
Yes.
you have Toyotas and an Olds.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you want to kind of hear the backstory on that?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Well, my parents always had Oldsmobile Cutlasses, like when they were like younger and, you know, a younger couple and stuff. And
Mhm.
every picture I ever saw of them when I was like growing up was them with a Cutlass Supreme. And I was like, you know what? One day I'm going to have one of these. I just
Mhm.
want one. I just thought it was a cool looking car. It's like, and if nobody, you know, if you guys are kind of struggling to figure out what it looks like, it's, you know, it's a GMG body. Basically what it looks like is what a 5-year-old would draw in kindergarten or
Yeah.
whatever, you know, and it was just great. It's just a really nice platform. You can drop any motor you want into it. We there was a Olds Rocket 350 that we put in there with a turbo hydromatic 350 automatic transmission. Thing was great. Did the
Yeah.
body work. Thing was fantastic. Yeah, but then I ended up selling that because kind of stupidly I got back into Subarus,
Yeah.
and I was just itching for another 2.5 RS. And then I ran up to Vermont hastily, which I really should have taken my time to buy an RS coupe.
Mm.
And unfortunately, that thing
Mm.
was just rotted to hell.
Mhm.
You know, I tried my best to save it. A buddy of mine, he put in a new subframe and a new gas tank in the back because it was just too unsafe to drive.
Yeah.
But, you know, after that, you know, we just saw the floor pan was just shot and it just wasn't worth fixing.
Yeah.
Mm.
But
That's like, God bless you people in like the South, the West. the
God,
That was the thing when I was
Southwest.
down there in
I
Phoenix.
envy you
They-
guys
they
so
just
much.
don't-
They
like-
don't get rust. What they do get is cracked dashes.
True.
Yeah, all
That
the
is true.
interior
Yeah.
stuff.
That was something I saw, like all these like drift cars in California. Like I
Mhm.
watch a lot of those like videos, and I'm like, why are all their dashes cracked?
Yeah,
I
you
don't
get the
that.
dry heat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
They said they also go through a lot of bushings, anything rubber. Really.
Oh yeah.
I'd rather that than it be structural, though.
Right,
you
right.
know?
Those are practically
Oh.
wear items.
Yeah.
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 Definitely.
Almost designed to be replaced. Guess
Yeah.
what's not? Holes in the floor.
Yeah, and
just
frames and unibodies.
Yeah, I showed you the work that my dad and I did on my Yaris.
Yeah, and thank God it didn't get to the pinch welds.
Yeah,
you know that was awesome.
It was like
Yeah.
a clean section we could cut out.
Dude, when I had to jack up my Forester to change that tire,
Right.
Mhm.
Pinch well just.
Oh, I looked at it. It's like there's nothing there.
It's definitely
yeah.
It's gone.
Yeah.
It's all just it's all just crunchy, dried up bacon under there. I put the jack on it. I just wondered what turn one crank, and it's the jack that comes with it.
yeah.
You know, it just crunch, and I'm like, well, not doing that.
Yeah.
Just put the jack on one of the suspension joints
yeah.
where it meets the body. It's
They're
like good
starting to
enough.
get more smart now because what they're doing with a lot of the newer Toyotas is they're making, you know, the part where they tell you to jack where the pinch weld is.
Yeah.
They mull it over and put like a thick piece of metal there as like
Yeah.
a base,
It's
like a
oh,
little
nice.
mount for you to put it, which is like, okay, it only took how many years? You
Yeah.
know?
30.
It's
to
crazy.
do that.
That's why I like my buddy who has that BMW 5 Series I've mentioned a
Right.
couple times today, not on the podcast, but he's got a high mileage 5 Series, like 2004.
Mhm.
And BMWs, he's like praises BMWs and German
Yeah.
engineering and all that because they have the jacks with the little square and it's
Yeah.
like meant for them. Yeah,
It's like
another thing you have to carry in your car.
Right. It's so funny, like with all the German and European vehicles, they over engineer one bit and
Yeah.
then
Anything that's
something else.
like non-essential,
Yeah.
just window regular. What is it? The window guides, just They break. That's a
Like, who
BMW thing,
cares?
apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't want this to be watertight. Screw that.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry to go back to me, but I'm trying to think about the other cars that I
No
had.
worries.
So yeah, after that,
Check.
crap. Oh, I had a. Oh boy, what the heck happened? Then I got a 2017 WRX, which I did up because I was done buying used cars at that point and
Yeah.
dealing with all the problems. And yeah, I just was not satisfied with that car whatsoever. Also got scared about the carbon buildup issues that they do develop because of being solely direct injected and turbocharged. Just kind of compounds problem on top of problem. So I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna mess with this. So I sold that. Plus the shifter feel in that was awful.
That's what I
And
heard.
but then I went to a 17 STI, same color. It was the lapis blue.
Mhm.
Is that that's not hyper blue? That's
No, dark blue. It's very
Okay,
dark.
yeah.
Yep. And looks really nice, all shined up.
Mhm.
But car was very good. But the same thing that I've said about a million times is that the engine, the EJ257, is just way too old of an engine for that chassis. Chassis of that car, rock solid, fantastic. It needs an updated motor,
Mm.
very, very badly. Transmission feel
The world
way
is
better
flat.
than the WRX.
Was the EJ? I just say EJ25. Is the EJ25-7? Is that the last iteration of the EJ series?
I mean, as of right now, yes. But
They're
that,
not still using the EJ. It's all F
Oh,
series.
yeah. No, in the STI, it's still EJ right now.
Fuck off.
Yeah, dude, they've been using the same engine since 04 in the STI. It's just been
So
it's
all
just
the
been
lower tier ones are the new F series.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, the FA20F is in the regular WRX, not the STI.
Gosh, I wonder what
Oh,
comes
okay.
in that Forester.
Yeah, that's going to
Like
be
the new Forester. That's an FB.
yes.
FB25, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank goodness, because the Forester just beat out the is moved ahead now ahead of the Forerunner
Give it here.
as like a new Forester, 5th generation. Moved ahead. Aha. Hitting the mute button.
Getting
like a
fancy
pro.
in here.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Cozy thing.
Yeah. So anyway, I can talk about possible new camera cars, but that's after I do the head gaskets again, because right now,
Yes.
2nd gen Forester, like Justin Kramer, people have heard me say this before. Justin Kramer quoted me, like he already did timing belt, water pump, everything. It's like, I can just reuse that stuff. I know your car. And
Yeah.
then when it comes time for head gaskets, I'm just like, well, I'll just take this stuff off, put it on the bench, do the head gaskets, put them back on. Then you're gonna good for another 100,000 miles, and probably the frame will rot out.
Yeah,
before I get to
you're
that.
going to be dealing with body rot and trying to save that before anything else.
Yeah.
Because my girlfriend's car has a EJ253,
Mhm.
which is the same engine as yours. It just has a different intake manifold, which
Okay.
is where the designation changed.
Mm.
And like I was saying, I think in an email to you, maybe I forget. It's been a lot of exchanges.
Yeah.
But the fix to any non-turbo Subaru EJ25 engine, which is going to include the EJ25D, which is meaning dual cam,
Yeah.
then the EJ251 and 253 engines is getting a turboed EJ head gasket. It's
Yeah.
a multi-layered steel gasket. It's just more durable than what came in the engines originally, the single overhead cam ones and the non-turbos, because it's just a single layered one that's just coated in graphite, and it's going to fail. That's it. And they're just not durable for the purpose, unfortunately.
Should I crack this into the mic?
Yeah.
Yes.
Get that sound.
ASMR.
Send it.
What's it smell like? It's like
I think you need to pour it into a glass. Would you like
Yeah?
a glass?
Yeah,
I could
because
just
as
chug
soon
this
as
water.
as
Yeah.
soon as Brian poured his out before, I got a good whiff
Yeah.
of that.
Oh.
But yeah, that's why I'm saying, like, I always get
So
majorly butthurt when people are like, oh, I need Subaru head gaskets. They suck. It's like, yeah, just replace the head gaskets in a non-turbo one with the right stuff, and you're good to go. The turbo ones, the turbo Subaru engines generally don't pop unless you are an idiot.
I'll pour it, you mic.
Okay. Oh, right. Okay.
Oh,
Here we
go for it.
Here we go. ASMR. Oh, that's good. That's that good stuff. Oh yeah.
Yes, and I got
nut.
that. And I got that whiff.
Yeah, that's good. We're just got some fat head right here. So how's it? It's not as dank as the other ones, I swear.
Ah.
Yeah, Brian's
know.
was much more pungent.
Maybe I just don't indulge in dank things
May have a smell.
frequently anymore. Yeah, take a whiff. Maybe
Yeah,
I'm wrong.
smell a little bit, but it's
Yeah.
nothing like the mango
Well,
one.
what's this one all about? Because like the mango kush is like that's a wheat ale and it's like hella dank. So this is a train wreck hazy double IPA. I love the descriptions for these too.
Yeah.
These are pretty great. I'm gonna do a dramatic reading right
Miles
now.
G, we're gonna get to you next.
Okay, and so here we go. All right. The string keeps rolling along with this hazy double IPA. Aromas of citrusy orange hit first, with a
Bless you.
caboose full of vanilla and pine notes. Falling. Billowing dank aroma and strain-specific terpenes jump the whole thing off the rails. Also, it's an 8%, so we got that going for it. But I like my hazy stuff, hazy IPAs and whatnot.
We're a quarter past the hour. Need station identification.
Oh my gosh, you know what's the worst thing? I was a program director for KUR, and I don't even remember any of the like.
You were listening to the radio voice at Kutztown University, KUR Kutztown, broadcasting at 88.3 FM, 1670 AM, and online at kur.kutztown.edu.
We never had to do the like broadcasting on because like it seemed like such like we only had that AM station, and most of our presence was online at that point. And we did have like pre-recorded liners and stuff
We're
like
still
that. too.
broadcasting on FM, right? That transmitter's still there.
Yeah, but it's like it can reach the campus. Like we're still fighting
Okay.
for an actual FM station, as far as I know. Like
Mm.
that's pretty much what most of Mike's job is just trying to get a legitimate FM station. But we keep losing out to like church stations.
Oh,
Yeah, because it's like
is it a money question?
no. Apparently, the big thing with KUR, Kutztown University Radio, for anyone who doesn't, anyway, is that because Kutztown University is a PASHA school, like
Yeah.
Pennsylvania State System of Higher Education, that means there's like what 7, 15, whatever other schools.
Mhm.
So when the SEC reviews our application, they're like, oh, well, you're part of PASHA. You already have an extended reach. And so you aren't as like pretty much they want to give it to the smaller voices. And because we're part of that state system of higher education, they consider us like we're like if KUR is broadcasting, we're representing all of the schools or something. I don't know. That's like the reason is because like we're not just Kutztown University. We're part of, Millersville, Bloomsburg, which we're not.
Mhm.
And like that was apparently the big issue was like they consider us a bigger voice or like a bigger. Yeah, I don't know.
Just a bigger reach.
Yeah, like we already have a bigger reach. We don't need that radio station. Like we'd rather give it to this pastor.
Speaking of that, and this is a question like if we ever got like Mike should be on this. Like
Oh my-
because right now
Yo.
there's nothing coming on. Just get Mike Regensberger here.
Yes.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be
Because
here
I
when
want to
Mike's
ask him
here.
questions like ham radio. I didn't know that ham radio is still a thing.
Oh,
And
yeah.
like there's like repeaters around. And you can get those world band stuff, and like people are like having their own radio shows.
Yeah,
It's
I've heard
so
about that
freaking
too.
bizarre.
It's kind of neat though, in my
Yeah.
opinion. It is bizarre, but I think it's pretty cool.
Over the air.
When we
Legitimate,
were
yeah.
filming in Phoenix, we had those radios, and the new radios have a much bigger range. They got bigger antenna. They can go onto the high gain channels. Now, there's a word for what those channels are on the radio frequency for walkie-talkies.
Right.
It's not ham radio. It's not CB. It's a separate designation. There's probably someone in the chat who's going to explain what that is. But there's a few of those channels that says like high range, and that it can go for like a mile or something like that. But while we were searching for an empty channel to use, because we're in a larger city, people were talking. We ran into some people like legitimately just having a casual conversation on like one of these channels. Like, what the fuck is this? Are you?
I
Anyway.
heard that was something that was like really common in the Midwest.
What's that? The
Like
ham
just
radio?
just having casual conversations.
guess
Like you talk on the phone over ham radio. I heard that's what I heard, but
I mean, I just could distance it, like greater distance between people probably would
Yeah.
lead
That's
you
what
to
I'm
go through
guessing.
other. Plus, like, I mean, I don't know about actual cell reception out there, but I know that my dad lives in South Carolina. He lives like 40 minutes from Charleston.
okay.
And he's got consumer cellular or whatever, which is like, it's practically free if you're over 65.
Really?
So he does not have cell reception.
Yeah, I was gonna
He
say,
cannot
probably
make
has
a call at
zero
his
service,
house.
Period.
And he has one hallway. He works. My dad works for Volvo. He's
Okay.
He fixes the robots that make the cars.
Nice.
And he's got like one hallway that he has to go to like a top
Oh.
stairway, and he'll like call me from there because he usually works night shift. So like he's not
Son,
doing
I
anything.
have reception.
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty much what it is. It's like I can talk to you for like 40 minutes here, and like before he has to go do
Oh
another
my
round or whatever.
goodness.
But no, so we had left off on your cars, or should we?
I think
do
we
more?
should.
yeah, there's really nothing
Yeah.
much else to say. I mean,
There's so
I
many.
had that newer Tundra, but you covered that in the Tacoma
Yeah.
video. That was unfortunately a lemon, but they couldn't replicate the problem with the engine.
Mm.
I loved it, but the thing just drank gas. And then
Yeah.
I had that, the Corolla, and then the unnamed car that you'll see eventually.
I like it.
Mike G, thank you for your generous donation. Thank you for all the great content. Your channel is great when I'm homesick and missing Pennsylvania. Once I can move back to Pittsburgh, I'll definitely submit my 1996 Ford Ranger XLT. For
Oh,
you.
very
Really
cool.
Any reason to go to
The,
Pittsburgh?
the consensus is don't move to Pittsburgh. It's so inexpensive, but maybe now's the right time.
Yeah, right.
Don't move there. It's inexpensive. or-
Don't move there. It's expensive.
expensive,
Oh, okay. It was
yeah.
expensive. Yeah, I mean, I was at Pitt, so granted, I was looking for apartments in Oakland, but like,
Mhm.
I mean, I was looking in North Oakland, not South Oakland. It's probably the other part of the problem. is South
Mm.
Oakland's a lot cheaper.
It's yeah. Well, hey, Pittsburgh is a happening place, and when this all blows over, it's a great place to party and actually just walk around.
Yeah,
and,
just
and bicycle.
I used to think I hated cities. Turns out, I've just for the first 20 years of my life had only been to Philadelphia, and
yeah, that'll
and
do
then
it.
I went to Pittsburgh for a year and a half, and then my dad lives near Charleston, and I've like discovered other cities, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, there's
But
so
I
much
like
out there.
Philly. I do like Philly.
And
as
now that
well.
I've spent more time in Philly as an adult, I don't hate it so much, but I still like don't
Right on.
like walking around in Philly as much as like walking around in Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
or
Philly's
I-
Charleston.
I need to go to Pittsburgh rather.
It's cool.
I'll tell
Yeah, I
you
like
what's
it.
really funny when you did the Chevy SS sedan video in
Mm,
Pittsburgh. I
yeah.
was very happy to see that. A lot of nice backdrop. I definitely
Oh,
want to go.
Pittsburgh is
Bridges.
beautiful places to
Bridges.
film.
Bridges
Bridges and
everywhere.
tunnels and bridges and tunnels and
Yeah.
bridges and tunnels of Bane.
Carnegie.
knocking down the stadium in Pittsburgh.
I definitely want to go.
So thank you so much for that generous donation. Miles HSG. I remember Miles. I remember your MR2. This was the guy I think I was talking about who I was telling you about that switch.
Oh, okay.
About
The
the-
fella
yeah.
from Australia, correct?
UK.
UK. Sorry.
No question, just shout out to the Coventry crew. Yep, this is the guy. Hope everyone stays safe in these crazy times. Yep.
Thank you,
As
sir.
safe as people
Likewise.
getting together and doing a podcast can be.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think that the point is like I
Distancing.
know that I don't talk to
Distancing.
anyone,
Mhm.
and I know that Brian, you don't usually go places, and now that everywhere's closed, you really don't have anywhere to go other than the cafe, and that's
It was so
closed.
weird because like when this was all going down, I was in Phoenix.
Yeah,
And
it's
like when
true.
I left for Phoenix, people were like, this will all blow over in 2 weeks.
Mhm.
And then as we were in Phoenix, it's like, oh.
Yeah,
And then
I had a coworker who was like in Florida that week, and
Yeah.
then came back, and we were like, well, everyone's already working from home. You're working from home. Like we're just like
Yeah.
for our own sake here,
Yeah.
you're working from home.
I have no work until further notice.
Right,
It really
yeah.
Sucks.
And that's what a lot of my friends I was mentioning to him earlier
Yeah.
was I have friends that do like lighting setup for like stage shows
Okay.
in like the Reading and Littleton and all that area. And that's the thing is he's like, oh well, all the shows are canceled.
Yeah,
so he's
it's
just
terrible.
And I
It's-
also do stuff for like the hockey team in Reading, and
Mhm.
that's like season was canceled. So there's like $300 I was gonna make. Like,
That's what I'm telling you,
Yeah.
man. It sucks. It's really screwing up a lot of people's livelihoods,
mhm.
like
Mhm.
self included. I even applied for unemployment. I haven't heard a damn
Yeah.
thing.
Well, that's the thing with like even my dad working at Volvo is
Mhm.
they're doing something like it's like they're I don't know the details, so I'm just not going to talk about it. But pretty much like they're almost like it's almost like they're temporarily laying people off. They're like, we
Right.
want to make sure you guys can get unemployment if you need it, if you're not working or something like that.
Yeah.
Like I don't know the details, but yeah, effectively they're just like we don't know how long we're not going to be building cars, so they're just like. Yeah, they're like helping, but Volvo's like supplementing that on top. Like,
That's good.
apparently, it's a great company to work for. My dad's like, the job is so boring until it's not boring, then it's insanely stressful. He's like, but they really take care of you well enough that it's hard to just like leave. Like
That's
you
good.
can't. He doesn't want to just leave.
And it's like life in general.
Yeah.
You know, it's all or nothing at all. So
yeah,
Yeah.
but apparently, yeah, great company to work for. That's what he's been telling me.
Nick Bellinger. Thank you for your donation. Nice Georgia beer. Thanks.
That's Sweetwater, yeah.
Yeah.
Which surprises me because I was like, when I think of marijuana, I don't think of Georgia.
Mm.
Like I was like, I got like the Sweetwater 420 was a beer that my dad turned me on to, and then the 420 strain G13 IPA came out, and I was like, oh cool. When you crack it open, it smells like weed. That's neat. That's a fun party trick. And then the Mango Kush came out, and I was like, oh, these are like really good beers. And
Mhm.
then I'm trying another two that I had today that just came out. There was a chocolate stout, but it was so funny. I'm like, okay, so this is from like what SoCal? This is from Colorado. This
Yeah.
is no,
It's from Georgia.
Yeah,
Yeah.
go figure. But I like them a lot. Shouts out Georgia beers. Dad's talking about moving to Asheville, North Carolina now.
I heard that's a
Apparently
hit place.
That's a place to be. Yeah.
The thing about Asheville, like I think Lazy Game Reviews, Clint, a guy with another YouTube channel.
Okay.
He lives, I believe, in Asheville,
Mhm.
and we've been trying to do this collaboration for forever, but there's no airport there. You got to fly to Charleston. Well, it's
Right.
kind of like where we are to Philly right now.
Yeah.
You gotta, which is great if someone's picking you up,
Yeah.
but Philly airport's 2 hours from where we are right
Mhm.
now.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
you fly into this place and then you got to drive for 2 hours. You fly into Charlotte and then you got to drive for forever.
Damn.
Yeah.
It's like I think an hour and a half or something like that to get to Asheville, or maybe longer.
Yeah. And that's
So it's either I rent a car and drive to him, or he picks me up from the airport.
yeah. Big
Anyway.
hassle.
Yeah, a little bit of a hassle.
So let's.
The Great Grandel, thank you for your generous donation.
I wish it were Grundle. Go on.
I've been watching since you did the kit review. Okay, cool.
Nice.
I moved to Pennsylvania. I moved from Pennsylvania to Texas last year, and I love throwing your videos on and seeing my home state roads. What are your thoughts on a Rust 3 AMC Eagle? Yes.
Oh yes.
Oh,
All right. Just
yes,
stop. You don't
yes.
even need the rest of
We
it.
don't
Rest
even
free
need
AMC.
to- yes.
Good. Eagle. Great.
Great.
Perfect.
And
Yeah.
then.
Yeah.
But I will read the rest of it with a Hemi in it.
Yes.
Oh my God, yes.
Yes.
It's the original crossover.
Yes.
With a big V8
Yes.
boy? Of
Yeah,
course.
that
Is
sounds
it? Should it be your daily? No.
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 Is it going to be fun? Yes.
Hell yeah.
Which Hemi is it? I'm curious. Is it the 5.7?
Shouldn't. I hope it's not the 5.7. The 5.7 has problems.
Is
Well,
that
it has
the
some
more recent?
issues, yeah, some
Yeah.
reliability problems, but
Yeah.
if it's an earlier iteration, yeah, but the newer ones, they're fine.
Yeah. If it's
LS.
got like the Challenger one,
Yeah.
I think the Challenger is that a 5.7?
Some of them are. The RT, like my girlfriend just bought, that's got a 5.7 in it. Yep.
Oh, excuse me. There was a 4.7.
4.7s are
Four
junk.
sevens, the junk
Oh, they
one.
are
Yeah.
junk.
The
Okay.
5.7 is the
Is
okay
fine,
one.
yes.
Excuse me.
I believe.
The 4.7 was the one in that
The Dakota.
Commander that I drove.
Oh, yes.
Oh.
Yeah, it was in the Dakota, the Commander, some
Yeah.
Love that
Cherokees.
review.
Junk.
That was.
Yeah.
Yes, that was a good review though. And you know, it's but to give a little bit of respect to that
Want
engine.
some more water?
Yes, sure. I'll have a fresh one up. Thank you. Honestly to give some due respect for the engine though, it's solid,
I'm okay. Thank you.
but you have to always be due diligence with maintenance.
I just wish everyone would be due diligence with maintenance.
Yes,
But
I
you know,
but, you
world's
know.
not a perfect place.
No, it's not. But yeah, if if you're in the market for an FCA, Chrysler, Dodge, whatever, 4.7 V8, if the the previous owner has all the service records, I'd feel comfortable purchasing that.
That's interesting. And it's
Yes.
funny because he's talking about seeing the PA roads. That was the funny thing, was like the first time I started watching regular cars was I was in college. I was at Kutztown. I was literally in an apartment where I'm watching, I think
Many
it was
times.
I can't remember if it was the AE86 review or the SVX review, but I remember watching it and I was like,
8.6 was Kutztown.
It was
Yeah.
Kutztown Park. Yes, I
Yeah.
remember it.
so it must have been the AE86 review because I remember
'Cause I was-
watching it and I'm like, whoa, those look like PA roads. And I paused it and I looked at the road sign and I was like, where is that? Oh, that's really close to here. And then I kept watching the video and I was like, that's literally the apartment I'm sitting in right now. Like, what the? And I was losing my mind. And that's when I emailed him. He's like, oh, this is about to get weirder. And he sends me like a bathroom tour of KU. And I
Oh
was
my
on
God.
the channel.
Yeah, it's really funny because I had the site that we filmed at today. I had no idea like where I was going.
Yeah.
And then I get there. I'm like, oh, I remember this from the AE6
I've seen this.
review.
Yep.
I
Mhm.
remember this road from the 2015 WRX review. Like,
Yeah.
I remember all of this stuff. So I was like,
Yeah.
cool, awesome, good stuff.
Shouts out to the Pulsar review as well. Oh,
Mm.
Thank
Oh
you
my
for
God.
bringing me along on
Yes.
that one. That was so
That's a
good.
bucket list car for me.
It
I
was
would
amazing. It
love
was
to
That
get
is
one.
a great car for someone else to own.
Yes.
Right.
Because that was what his origin was WRX's. And he was like, yeah, I got tired of having something everyone else had.
Yeah,
And
I don't blame him at all.
there you go.
Don't
But of
blame
course,
him
he
at
was
all.
also citing the problems of overnight parts from Japan.
Yep.
Doesn't exist.
Yep.
So you gotta wait.
I would love to buy like a Mitsubishi Evo 3 or an Evo 6.
Evo
but
5.
Yeah.
Yeah, 5, 6,
I-
something like that. Even 4. I love all of
Yeah.
those. I love all of them. Actually, you know what? I love them all.
Yeah,
Honestly, I was
they're
gonna say up to the 10. No, I like the 10 too.
Yeah.
Just not the
Yeah.
MR because of reasons and not manual.
Mm.
Thomas Galbraith
Galbraith?
says, and thank you for your generous donation. Hey guys, huge fan of the show.
Huge.
First Uber chat. You guys have gotten me through some hard times. Oh, hope we get you through these as well. I hope you
Likewise.
can continue to keep doing what you're doing. Thank you. Wouldn't be
I hope you do too.
where we were without the
Yep.
fans. Hope to see an RX-7 FC review one day, and
Oh.
can't wait for RCR to pan. What was the RX-7 we did in Canada?
That was an FB.
That was an
first gen.
FB. Okay.
Right.
So
Right.
we need
Beautiful
an
specimen,
FC.
by the way. Shout out to the owner.
I almost
Yeah.
bought one of those when I was in South Carolina.
Shout out to the owner.
I took
of
my
that thing.
Corolla. I drove my AE82 down to South Carolina with plans
Yeah.
to just put it on Craigslist and trade for something.
Yeah.
But because it made the trip down there flawlessly, I ended up keeping it. And then it made the trip back, and 2 days later blew a head gasket.
Ah.
So I loved it to death, literally.
So yeah, RX-7 FC. Gotta find one. Were they at fuel injection by the time they were at the FC?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
the
but you gotta-
was
gotta
the
make
FB
sure-
carbureted? I think it. When I
The only thing I know about RX-7s is literally anything that's been on Hoonigan or
Mm.
Angel Motorsports.
they
YouTube
look
Like I have a buddy who's got one, but it's dead.
But the only ones I've seen are absolutely worked. Like
Yeah.
that's like I want to see an FC review of one of them.
Yeah, my buddy's got
Oh,
a
yeah,
really
he-
clean Turbo 2 FC, but it's not working,
Mm.
unfortunately.
you got to find a specialty mechanic who's like,
Yep.
that's what they do.
And that's what
He'll-
those channels are.
I was
They're
gonna
just
say
like-
he'll fix it. He just has no time.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
got no time.
Yeah.
It's a shame. The thing's absolutely beautiful. I remember
Mhm.
like him showing me pictures and videos of when it ran. Like my heart was throbbing. It just looks
If
so
you're
beautiful.
a mechanic and you want to make more money, specialize in rotaries.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're
the
going.
world, the
up.
world will
They're
be a
going up.
path to your door.
yeah, because
Mhm.
it seems like for a while it almost seemed like those were dying out, and then it realized like there were like these people that
I think
know
they
them
still-
inside and
yeah,
out.
I think
Yeah.
they still
And
kind
they're
of are.
yeah, I mean they are, but like it's more of almost like a luxury item now.
Yeah, it is.
You have to,
Yeah.
and the thing is, like, they can build reliable ones. It's just the amount of preventative maintenance that goes into that. Like, you got to do like like 2-stroke premix your oil with your fuel kind of deal.
That
And,
was the
like,
guy with
there's-
the RX-8.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The premix.
Yep.
And it's just thing.
yeah, exactly.
you
So
do.
like, it's so much stuff that like I, as a
nuts.
lazy person, like that's why I bought an '80s Honda Twin. Is
Yeah.
because I don't want to do maintenance. Like right
Mhm.
now, I've torn it apart to like do all that so that I don't have to do it for another 13,000.
Does
Well,
your
there's- I
bike
was-
have an oil filter?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
doesn't have a fuel filter.
No, I don't think they ever came.
No,
with
that
it.
was like I read the climber manual and it was like fuel filter, and I was like reading it. It was like, oh, there's a small screen on the petcock, but we recommend installing an inline fuel filter. I was like, okay, cool. It's
Yeah.
one less thing I have to change.
Yeah.
But there is one hole in the market that I either just thought about or I'm just ignorant to. There's a lot of RX-8s going up for sale, like stupid cheap, and you can just LS swap those. Like,
And that,
you
and
know,
exactly,
that's a big hole in the market that
That's-
should be filled. Like somebody could specialize in that, and like you can buy a $2,000 RX-8 that looks beautiful
Because-
inside outside, but the motor's shot.
yeah, the motor shot, and because there's no point in rebuilding
the
a
Renesis is-
Renesis. Yeah, that was what it was called.
Ugh, God,
And they're just terrible
horrible,
engines. Like you wouldn't do
horrible.
that. You would
Yeah.
put a 13B in it before you would put another Renesis,
Yeah.
or you would just straight up put another Renesis in it. Like,
Exactly.
I
My
wouldn't
joke
rebuild
about
the one you have.
LS swapping.
Sweeping.
LS
It's a
swapping.
Freudian slip.
An RX-8 is congratulations. You just built a Corvette C6.
All right, but here's the cool thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Corvette C6s don't have weird 4-door suicide doors.
They
No,
don't,
and they
no.
don't have the connotation of being an old man car.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
You
know
don't
what?
you don't expect a New Balance and jean shorts to walk out of an
Yeah.
RX-8
Yeah, that's
or to flop out
Right.
of an RX-8.
Yeah.
Exactly.
California cheeseburger.
I'll never forget the day when I was just cruising on the New Jersey Park, Garden State Parkway rather, with a buddy of mine, and we were just cruising, and we see like a matte black RX-8 out in the distance, and I was like, oh, interesting. And I'm looking, and I'm like, you know how they have the dual exhaust coming out the back?
Mhm.
That was, pleasantly missing. And we're rolling up on it, and I'm like, I hear V8 noises. and I just looked over, gave the dude the thumbs up. He just dumped it down 2 gears and went. Dude, oh my god, it
That's
was
like
beautiful.
a friend of mine lives
Absolutely
in Florida,
beautiful.
and he has a Snapchat only to send me videos of the cars he sees in Florida, where he'll just like he'll take a video, and the moment someone in Florida with some modified whatever car, it's like GTRs and like BMW Z4s with carbon fiber wraps and like
Mhm.
stuff like that. Just anyone with anything that's like the moment they see a camera on them, they just floor it.
Yeah.
So like that's all the snaps I get from him, because he also
That's
has like
okay.
a 70s Ranchero,
Oh,
and
nice.
yeah, he's moving back to PA soon. He
Nice.
told me he's not bringing the
There
Ranchero.
was a guy in Lidditz
Mhm.
selling an LS El Camino for like done. If the car was done, it was
Let's just go in
something
on
like
it.
$6,000 he wanted for it, and I didn't buy it.
Oh my
You
god.
silly bitch.
I know, right? I was like, that's a lemons
That's
rally
a-
car. I'm like, I don't want. I got no room for it.
Yeah.
Gosh, and it was freaking square body, it's late.
The-
It was
Love
like
it.
one of the last El Caminos they made.
And were those the ones that were like undesirable, like the G body ones?
Yeah, you want
Mhm.
the people want the SS ones.
Yeah,
the
earlier
big
ones.
My
full
grandfather-
body ones.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think I forget who I was talking to about that. My grandfather, we called him Papa Hot Rod. I think it was you. I was
Yes.
talking about this.
Yes,
and
you were.
you might have heard us talking about it.
with the
Yeah.
with the accelerator pedal and the brick
Yeah.
under it.
So,
Yep,
well,
yep.
he had an El Camino, and that was like gonna be my first car, and then he passed
Really?
away,
Oh.
unfortunately. And I was like 12 then, so they weren't keeping the car in a
That's a
garage for
shame.
4 years.
They probably
But-
gave it away for nothing.
I mean, practically, because that was of all the cars, he had a 32 Ford, which is like picture a hot rod. That's what he had.
Mhm.
And when he had passed, he had like a really nice, practically like a resto mod, but he was still a hot rodder, so it wasn't like nice parts. Like it was like a restored somewhat 57 Bel Air. And then he had like a C5 or wait, hold on. What's C5, C4, C3? Would have been like a 2 or 3, I guess, Corvette. I don't know.
It was probably
everything.
a 3. I'm gonna
Yeah.
guess a 3.
Yeah. And
Sorry. my
so
wife's
that
trying to
was
fall asleep.
lovely. But no, the story about the accelerator pedal was just a quick aside. Was my mom's first car was a 65 Mustang convertible. It got the V8 from grandma's totaled Ford Galaxy, the 302 or 304 or whatever it was.
Yeah, I like
Um,
this story.
Yeah, and then so she was out with her boyfriend, and there was something acting up. So the car was choking, whatever, like it was sputtering. And so they were looking at it, whatever. Okay, give it some gas, give it some gas. This is not working. This is working. And he goes under and looks at the pedal, and he's like, "Wait, did you know this was here?" He pulls out a wooden block from under the gas pedal, and it's like her dad put this wooden block there so that she couldn't. And he just cuts a zip tie and like throws this wooden block out the window. He's like, "Let's go." Gassed it. Oh my goodness. Yeah. And like, and
That's
I
funny.
said earlier, it was Flowmasters. I remembered it was thrush pipes. It wasn't Flowmasters.
Oh, okay.
It was,
The sound of
yeah.
thrush.
Yeah. Like that. So that
It's,
was my
it's
mom's
like
first car.
thrush is
Oh,
like the
isn't
cherry
thrush a
bombs of like the
disease?
70s or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
I was gonna say, yeah, thrush is a disease.
Yes and yes.
I like their little mascot, the little bird, right? It's
Yeah.
the little bird dude. I bet he had a name. Somebody tell
It's-
me.
it's
if they
like the
know.
Road
Isn't it just Woody Woodpecker?
Like
Like it's
you're right.
Was
literally
it?
Woody
Was
Woodpecker.
it really Woody Woodpecker?
looks like him.
It
That's
looks
what I always
like
thought
him,
it was when I
yeah.
was
Yeah,
a
it's like
kid.
an Aldi brand.
Yeah, exactly. Or like a ShopRite. Oh god, who was the bear? The
Essential
ShopRite
every
bear.
day. I don't know.
Gosh, I don't know.
Kirkland brand.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We need more.
Uh,
What do we
You have any
got for-
questions?
Yeah, any
Oh,
super chats?
yeah,
Let's
well,
continue.
Yeah, I'm very open to questions.
He
Okay,
said,
we've got. We did the RX-7 one.
Iced
Okay,
Ink looks like
Iced
it's got-
Ink wouldn't be a podcast without you. Let me arrange my microphone.
I can
There we
read
go.
this one.
I can't
Can I?
see.
Can I read it?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna
so
read it.
nearsighted.
What's less complicated? Engine swapping the Walking Dead Hearse or boring out the current engine? Wanting to keep it screen accurate, so no LS. Cadillac 472 V8 is identical to my 368 in every way except bore.
Wait,
Same
I
stroke.
think you're the guy from Austin, right? Because
Ah.
someone from there had the fear of the Walking Dead, which I think was an
That's
option.
probably
Is that
yeah.
another spin-off? I don't know.
That was a spinoff. That was a show that was like it was like the West Coast
Okay.
Walking Dead.
But there was they had that hearse from that show.
Oh,
They,
cool.
they bought
Nice.
the hero car,
Oh,
and it came
very
to our
cool.
car meet
Heck
at
to the yes.
in Austin, or boring out the current engine.
Oh, definitely boring out because that's just you're just really
What is that? It's like an 80s. What is it? I forget what hearse it. But
What
was it
engine
a
is
Ford
in it?
LTD or was it a GM vehicle?
I have no clue. Can I see a picture?
Yeah, we can figure that out.
Yeah.
Fear of
I
the
just-
Walking Dead hearse.
Yeah, I mean, but this is just I'm going to speak in generalities
Yeah.
here if I may. Especially if the thing's carbureted, boring out and changing the stroke and all that, that's going to definitely be easier than doing an LS swap for sure.
He's saying it has a 368, and that sounds GM to me.
Okay, and is it carbureted?
Or
I'm
I
assuming?
don't know because Ford. This is I think it's 80s. So 80s domestic. You got both. You got everything. You had 60s designs hanging around.
Yeah,
Like
it
with
was
the
just
Ford
a weird.
LTD
Yeah.
still had the 200 Power Master.
Mm-hmm.
But then you had advanced stuff with fuel injection and turbos and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. But yeah, I'm gonna go with it being a carbureted V8. Just quick
Yeah.
assumption, and changing the bore stroke, all of that, and then just tuning and getting the right carburetor is going to be worlds easier than swapping anything.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, the engine comes out, it gets refreshed, it goes back in, it
Mhm.
breathes better.
Yep.
And then that's it. He says he wants to keep it screen accurate.
And there
so
you go.
There you go.
Done and done. Almost
Yeah.
answered your own question.
Yeah.
But thank you for the question.
Yeah.
Oh, and thank you, I think. Hourly B says, LOL, I live in Plymouth.
Just use yeah. He had asked about the Boston meet earlier. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I just use Boston since it's a big city. Also, bro needs a sporty car options. He has 10,000. Oh, he's got plenty to play with.
no, hold
Already
on.
suggested.
Wait, is this for a down
Miata
payment?
All right.
Is this for
Yeah.
a down payment?
Well,
or-
well, that's a good question. I would say probably total because he said already suggesting NA Miata and Fiesta ST. All
Okay.
right, those are
I-
entirely different options. If
They
you're
are.
looking for a daily, get a Fiesta ST.
Yeah, Fiesta ST all day.
Yeah.
NA Miata, just get an ND, dude. If that's a down payment, get an ND.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you can get a nice NA for 10K.
Yeah.
Like, holy
You could
crap.
get a very good NB that solved a bit of problems. You get the bigger engine. You don't have
Mm.
headlights that are going to break. I know you want the flip up ones, but you live in the Northeast where it snows. And
Right.
unless that car is going to live in a garage,
Mhm.
snow wrecks those headlights because
Yes,
it gets
true.
down in. There's little motors in there. You want an NB that
I-
doesn't have flip up headlights.
I was blessed because I didn't have to drive my NA in the winter. At the
Nice.
time, my never mind, we're not going to go into details, but I got to drive my mom's car all winter. So it was like a Hyundai Elantra, like an 01 Elantra, which by the way sucks. Don't recommend it. But yeah, I was fortunate enough. But yeah, no, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
an NA Miata with 10K, I would like I have money and savings where like if I blew that on a Miata, I could get a fire Miata. Like
Yeah.
oh, I
But
want
I'm
an ND
still-
so bad at this point.
Yeah, I'm still gonna go with 100% the Fiesta ST though.
Mhm.
Definitely on that
I
because
can't recommend Fords.
Huh? No,
I just after my
really?
ZX3 experience, I
it's a
can never.
shame.
If it's not a truck or a Mustang, I can't recommend Fords.
What? Nah, well, the reason I give the Fiesta ST a huge thumbs up is because it's on the world platform.
Mhm.
You know,
That is true.
and also I watch. I'm pretty big into Savage Geese. If you guys know the YouTube channel, and he goes very in depth into
Yeah,
a lot
Mark.
of stuff. Yeah,
Mhm.
Mark. Yeah, cool, really cool dude. I'd love to meet him one day.
Yeah, he helped us out when we were in Chicago.
Yeah,
one
he
time,
did a bunch of filming. Yep.
Yeah.
I remember he did the Phoenix, the
did the
Pontiac Phoenix.
Yep. He did
But yeah,
the
he-
IROC.
Yes, that too. Yep. But I remember he went pretty in depth with one of those, and he had one up on the lift, and it was used. It was a volunteer vehicle, and it was holding up quite well to like corrosion.
Northeast stuff.
Yeah,
That,
northeast.
that would be a
stuff.
video if I go out, if
Yeah,
I drive,
it's-
if I the Falcon. If the Falcon can make it to Chicago, put that thing up on his lift and like an excuse to use his lift
Right.
to put the POR something on the
15,
bottom.
yeah.
of it.
Oh god, I don't think he's gonna let you put that on there because, like I said, once that stuff goes on, it ain't coming off. It's gonna get all over his lift. He's gonna hate you.
But
I would- yeah.
Yeah, like you're gonna need to get under that in a Tyvek suit,
Yeah.
like 100%. Because this stuff's like water. It's
Mhm.
literally like
Oh,
water.
really? It
Yes.
drips?
Until
Oh,
it
it
sticks.
drips.
Wow.
But
no,
yeah, I mean, you could do it at my house. I don't care. I got the lift. I would. You won't
have a
offend
lift?
me. Yeah, I got a lift at my place.
Hey,
Right.
now.
Right. Yeah, dude. I'm like, about to
I just made
get your
a
number.
million friends.
You have a lift?
Yeah, that's like my buddy's next move, and I'm like, dude, your garage is under your house. How are you gonna do a lift? But anyway,
Yeah.
Yeah,
but no, yeah, I did drive a Fiesta ST.
yeah,
I
they're,
did.
they're brilliant.
They are
When-
good,
When I was still running
fun.
the performance shop, we had a dude come in for a performance alignment for a track day, and I didn't want to give it back to him. I love the car. It's
yeah.
fantastic. 100%
I just
fantastic.
my whole thing is I'm like, oh, it's probably a bitch to work on. Everything's really cluttered in the engine.
It's not
bay,
bad.
I'm sure, but oh,
It's
no,
not
okay.
bad at all. I mean, the only thing you really got to worry about is just heat management because modern turbo motor.
Mm.
So just you got to worry about heat management and
Mm.
carbon buildup again.
Mm.
But again, I think it's such a nice car.
It
I love
is.
them.
I like them. I like the way they look. I just it's
And
a
the
Ford thing, I
and the
don't know.
chassis is way better than the Focus ST. So much
Yeah.
better. I mean, yes, you're sacrificing size and a little bit of power.
I'm a small dude. I'm 5'8".
Yeah. I think I'm an inch taller than you.
Like I had a roommate
So-
who was like 6'3" and he didn't drive.
Mhm.
So I drove him to campus all the time in my Miata. He hated being seen in that.
Oh,
Like-
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the Fiesta ST makes some cool noises and it handles fantastically
True.
well. So yeah, that's
It's
gonna
true.
be my recommendation. Sorry for going on a
Yeah.
huge rant,
That's fine.
rave.
That's fine. Super chats are here for.
Major Gearhead, thank you for your donation. Regarding an older review, would a Crown Vic with a different trim level, base, LX, LX Sport, be too similar to the police P71 package for review? Short answer, yes, because all Panther bodies are really the same.
They are. There is a caveat that I'll jump in there when you're ready.
The P71 you shouldn't buy.
Agreed. Agreed.
Everybody says that they got one. It belonged to a detective. It was lightly used. There's no such
There's
thing
no
as
such
a
thing as
a
that
lightly
in
used
any-
P71.
No, in law enforcement, nothing is.
Anything that was
What
a
you
fleet
want
vehicle
is a Lincoln Town Car owned by a grandma.
Correct.
With
It will
the-
be
If-
fine.
with
Yeah,
air
like-
suspension that either works or doesn't work, and you're okay with fixing it.
Or you just replace the air suspension with traditional suspension.
Spring,
Yeah.
springs,
You're
and they make the
done.
conversion.
They do.
But also, again, two
Yeah.
tangents, if I may.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
You could also get, if you don't want the old person stigma label of the Mercury, you
I
can get an
want it.
LX. You can get an LX P71, but just
You
a,
mean
a
LX Crown
civilian
Vic.
owned one.
Yeah.
One meant for civilian purchase,
Yeah.
which is totally fine too. But the nice thing about the interceptors, the police interceptors, is that they have all those extra coolers. They have the extra cooler for this, even the power steering for transmission,
Yeah.
engine oil, because they're meant to be idling.
But you're not a police officer.
Right.
And you're not, what are you going to do?
Yeah, the extra
Sit at
cool-
KFC like they do in Pottsville? But it's just going to,
Yeah.
is that, you really need that trans cooler?
Yeah, do
need
you
a
really? Yeah, do
trans
you need
cooler?
it?
Because like you
No.
can swap like
you
what-
can buy it. But I've got to have the right thing. It's a power trip. Just
Right, it
admit it
is.
to yourself.
It
If
is.
you want a power trip, go. Just put all the best clips of Judge Dredd. Get yourself like an Amazon penis pump and just
There you go.
sit there and watch that
some-
on
yeah,
a freaking Galaxy S10.
Exactly, and
Are
I
we
think
up to the S10 now?
I think so.
Yes.
I think that's the first. I got
Yeah.
an S9 and I'm never on.
yeah,
the
and
cutting
then
edge,
what
so.
the S20 is coming out soon,
Okay.
something. But yeah, I mean, I think we've even moved beyond Panther body at this point because I don't think anyone who's in the right state of mind or in the right state of knowing things has known it's moved beyond that. We're in Explorer Tahoe town now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In regards to law enforcement.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And yeah.
And
God,
and Charger too.
I hate the Ford Explorers
Oh, me,
or the
yo,
cop
me
car
too.
because I'm like, yo,
Me too. I
I'm
hate it.
mistaking Karens for cops every day,
Same.
and it's rough, man.
Yeah.
It's rough. Stop putting black wheels. Stop
my
specking
God.
black wheels
I
on your
hate it.
white.
That's
Explorer.
what
And now-
Roman's,
yeah,
that's what Roman's
exactly.
mom bought.
Oh
She
my
bought a white Explorer snitchmobile.
No.
And she didn't even know that she was buying.
No.
It's like, I like this. It's a nice thing. And we're both looking at it. It's like,
Mm.
you bought a white.
I'm
Why
a
buy
cop
Explorer?
now.
Yeah,
All you got to do is like, and then there are
proud
people who,
parent of a cop.
You just got to put the blue line on the back.
you got to put the blue line on the back. You got to pop that fake chrome grill off. Put the black one on.
Exactly.
Get
Yep.
rid of the nice alloys. You put the steelies
Yeah, put the
on,
steels
and
on,
everybody
and then-
slows down.
Yep,
You
and then
put a
put-
bunch of like the mini antennas. You can't have the big ones. Got a
No,
mini one.
the mini ones and the little GPS circle satellite on the
Yeah.
top, and then you got to put the turn downs for the exhaust because they're not straight out on the police ones. They turn down.
Oh.
Yep, that's a
Oh.
dead giveaway for me from the back. Yep, they don't come
Ah.
straight out. They literally turn down towards the ground with the bumper cutouts. It's so weird.
Mm.
Did not know that.
Yep. Yeah. Next time you see one,
Probably
just
has to
take
do
a
with
peek.
like they needed more suspension travel or something. They had to like put them.
I think it's
exhaust
the
lower or
honestly, I
something.
think it's the
don't even-
cheaper exhaust to make because it's no
let's be
chrome
honest,
tips. It's
that's
not
what it's
fancy.
about.
Mm.
Yeah,
It's about money.
of course it's about money.
Um,
What isn't?
What do we got? Hey, RCR.
And a big question, and the answer is when we find a really, really nice one, or because, and there's another problem with that question. Zeus 2011. Hey RCR, when you guys review the Mazda Miata NB, the answer is you've got two Mazda Miata NBs. You got the regular one, but the Mazda Speed existed.
Mazda
Yeah.
Speed.
Coveted turbo
And I
Miata.
have and we have a customer at the shop I used to run who had one.
Mhm.
The thing was beautiful on the outside, underside rotted
Yeah.
completely.
Well, that's the thing is apparently it had like a. I mean, it wasn't. I don't know. It's in the Northeast, so
Yep.
there was a clean looking Miata NB at the gym that I saw like a couple weeks ago before the gyms closed,
Mm.
and that was like if I had known you were looking for one, dang, I would have left a note.
The thing about like trying to, hey, I know a guy who has one.
Oh, yeah,
it's like
it's-
great. Does he like dick jokes?
Oh yeah,
Does he like-
he's with it. Yeah, he's with it. He's
Mm.
totally
Yeah.
with it. He's an awesome dude.
Speaking of which, C63 AMG,
Can I have one, please?
or is it an E? It might be an E. No, it's a C.
Educate me, because
2018
Euro cars are
2018
like Stargate
or
for me. I
17
never
or
watched it,
15.
never cared.
I don't know. My mom's boss.
yeah?
he's a fan of the show and he's got one. So
Oh.
he's like,
Is it a black series? Please tell me it's a black series.
no, well, it's the C. So it's like the sedan, John. I don't even know. Maybe it's easier.
Aw,
But it's like,
damn.
yeah, and it's got the. Oh, I can't remember. I can't remember all the
It's
details.
just got
I'll
the,
talk to you
it's
later.
got the big
Yeah.
ass V8 in it. Yes.
It's got the V8 with the bi-turbo.
Mhm.
Anyway, yeah.
Zeus has a follow-up. Says, would you review the new Toyota GR Yaris? Yeah, I want to get my hands
Wait,
on one of those.
now
things.
hold
we
on.
can get one, but we're not getting
The
it.
GR Yaris, we're not getting.
No.
That's the new.
Oh.
That's
Yeah,
the
you have to go
Yaris.
abroad. That's the real Yaris.
That's what I was talking about earlier, where
because we have the Mazda 2 as a Yaris.
right,
now.
our Yaris is a Mazda 2
Yep.
in the United States, and we just got the hatchback.
Woo!
As an 08 Yaris S hatch owner, I'm psyched, but we still don't get the real Yaris, and that's exactly
But-
why I want the
Mm.
Yaris, the real
But-
Yaris, because I want
but-
the GR Yaris.
But
But
there has been some stirs. On
I
the
need a pee.
internet.
I'll be back.
Have fun.
There has
Don't fall in.
there has been some stirs on the internet, and I'll try to keep this as succinct as possible. That awesome three-cylinder turbo that's in the GR Yaris.
Is it a 3
It's
turbo?
a 3. It's
I knew
an
it was a
inline
turbo. I didn't know it was a 3.
turbo, 260 horsepower, right? That's
That's right.
Yeah,
Because they're like, this is the most horsepower ever out of a 3-cylinder.
correct. And there are talks of that engine coming to the States, not in a Yaris, but in the bigger, more American spec Corolla hatchback.
Yo, I'm wet. I'm literally
I
moist
know.
right now.
I'm telling you, dude, that's like almost a match made in heaven, and it's a GTI contender. It makes
True.
total sense to do it.
True,
So
Yeah.
2023, watch out. We
Dude.
might get it.
dude. I would. That's
I
the
know.
thing is like I haven't really like I've haven't driven any modern Toyotas. I drove the IM. I drove a Corolla hatchback. I want to drive the new Yaris just because I know it's a Mazda, and I've also been a fan of Mazdas. But I will
Same.
always have that like pulling when if I drive a new Yaris
Mhm.
in the States because I will know it's not the true Yaris.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, my buddy Steve, who was on the show, he was the guy who had the Renault Encore. Yeah, Steve. Steve's an excellent guy. Shout out, Steve. Hello. Good. Hopefully, I'll see you soon. He just came back from abroad from somewhere recently, and he he sent me a picture of the real Yaris, and I was like, yes. Posted it right on my Facebook wall. I was like, thank you. I needed
dude,
that today.
Yeah,
Definitely needed
Yeah.
that today.
I love my 08. I do.
Yes.
And now that I know it's a rare thing, I feel like I have some sort of.
Yep. And
I don't feel bad for putting the disgusting amount of money that I've put into
No,
it.
not at all. I would be
Um,
offended if you didn't.
Yeah, so I feel okay keeping that thing alive.
And I still can't believe I saw that 5-door S today. That's
That's-
such the biggest coincidence ever.
Yeah.
Yep.
I love it. Anyway, but I'm gonna skip a super chat because it's specifically for Mr. Regular. But we got Bob is back. He said, "Hey Kyle, bro, looking at an 02 Impreza 1.6 TS wagon." That's the
Alrighty.
shit. I love
Yeah,
wagons.
I had that was basically the
Um,
same thing as my Outback Sport that I had.
There you go. Yeah.
Yep.
As his next daily, I know that engine is meh, but how are they on practicality and easy to live
They're
with?
good.
I would imagine.
Yeah, Bob,
it's
they're
great if
definitely
it's an
good.
Outback Sport.
Yeah, the only thing is, obviously, same thing with all Subarus of that era is just look out for rust, namely on the quarter panels, rear fender wells, and behind the front wheels where the floor pan is. That is going to definitely be rotted out depending on where you're at, and also just head gaskets. If you see oil seeping down from below, just reseal the motor and you're good to go. New timing belt, water pump, you're all set.
Yeah, when I have a garage, I kind of want to get like a 2.5 RS just to like, because I've heard like working on them is like Legos. Like,
Yes, but sir, good luck finding one.
yeah, it's true. There's like one in
Yeah.
my town that I see all the time, and
Mhm.
it's like one where I know that if I left a note on it, if he replied, he'd say "f off."
Oh,
and
probably.
because he like I've seen this dude drive it, and he just like it's bone stock, and but you know he loves it. Like you
Dude,
can
they're
tell.
So they're the greatest cars ever. I love them. I'm telling you, man. They had the way they look. It's just perfect. They're just the right amount of
Honestly,
understated.
I think the only reason I want a Subaru like that is just to make unequal length sounds. You know,
Yeah, I
unequal
mean, I
length
don't
header
blame you.
sounds.
I don't
'cause,
blame
like,
you.
I-
mean,
Where I work is like right on the corner of a very busy road on the main line, and
Mm-hmm.
so that you just hear. But the funny thing is the road. Thank you very much. The road that we work on, there's like a warehouse on
Mhm.
that road. So like the people that work at the warehouse have like straight pipe Civics and
Oh,
straight piped
yeah.
Accords and
Yeah,
straight
yeah.
piped Del Sols and straight piped Acuras. So in other words, they have straight piped Honda 4-bangers. So those come around
Yeah.
the corner.
I
But
mean,
there's
dude.
one dude who works down the street the other way who has like a brand new STI with like fully worked, and it's just like warbling
Oh,
down.
of course, because you know what it is when it's coming.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
And that's like my coworker had a Roush Mustang.
Okay.
And he just traded it in for he had a 2014 Mustang convertible.
Not bad.
Roush did the like the exhaust, a tune. I think he kept everything else, or
And
maybe
it's great stuff
maybe
'cause
a
it all
lower end
carries-
kit.
Yeah, I think it all follows a Ford warranty.
Yeah,
which is,
exactly.
you
it was
know,
all warranty.
smart
And that's
move.
his whole thing.
Smart move.
And
man.
he just traded that up towards a 2014 Maserati.
Ooh.
Quattroporte,
It
could be
convertible,
could be a
two-door convertible.
Not a Giulia.
I'd like to meet a guy.
Because it's not a Giulia, I know that. Because
Oh,
I was going to make
was
fun
it
of
a
them
Ghibli?
big time. It's not
Ghibli?
or the Ghibli is what I was thinking of. Giulia is a Alfa Romeo.
Oh yeah. Oh my god.
But no, I
Oh,
was
I'm
making fun of
getting all
him for
confused
buying a
now.
Maserati because to me they're just overpriced Chrysler cars.
Well, they
Yeah,
are.
yeah, yeah.
And so
Like,
is Alfa at
I'd like
this
to meet a
point.
guy
Alfa
who
is too.
who bought a Maserati, and I want to say, okay,
Do you know it's a
run
Chrysler?
me through the thinking here.
Yeah. It's
What, the
really
Maserati?
Yeah.
Dude,
like,
he's
what-
a fan of the show. I'm gonna talk to him when I get back to work. I'll
All
talk
right.
to him because
I
I
mean,
know
I
he
really-
watches you and he'll come down. He'll be like, "Your buddy just said the funniest thing in this video," because he's kind of a boomer, even though he may not identify with all the. He's totally a boomer.
How old is he?
He's boomer age,
Okay.
and I mean, he's our audio producer. He's been at it for 30 years.
Oh,
So
okay,
does
okay,
he
okay.
does
Yeah.
he quantify as a zoomer?
No, but he has this. I would actually, maybe I'll talk to him about that because although he's still fighting with the dealership, there's like a squeal coming from the rear left brake,
Ooh.
and the dealership keeps telling him, no, the performance brakes. He's like, no, they're not. He's like, I've owned a Porsche. He's like, I know what brake squeal sounds like. He's like, this is a nuisance. He's like, I don't own a
Does
performance
it just
car.
have like regular steelies?
Yeah, exactly. It's
Steel
not.
rotors?
They're like, oh, it's like carbon
Mhm.
this, and he's like, no, it's not.
No, it's steel.
Yeah,
Watch, I'll put a
there's
magnet
still,
on it.
There's steel rotors and like maybe some fancy pads, but he's like, it shouldn't be squealing the way it is. But yeah, he's still fighting with that. Maybe once he sorts that out.
The only noise I've heard from steelies is when they're old. And
Yeah.
I once got EBC rotors and pads for my GS500. Now they were stainless steel,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe they were just regular steel, but they had a bit of chatter on them.
Mm.
But it was more like hearing a typewriter in a different room. There was just like this a little bit, just but very quiet.
It depends. I guess it really more depends on the compound of the pad.
Okay.
Yeah, because a lot of times, like those higher performance pads only work when they're hot.
Yeah,
You know?
Mm,
So,
yeah,
okay.
and that was like, but he dailies.
Yeah,
this.
full
He's
on
dailying a Maserati.
Full on race
Yeah.
pads are stupid
crazy.
on the road because all they
Yeah.
do is scream
Mhm.
until they're up to temp.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and
I forget
sometimes they
what-
don't even get to the proper temp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of time.
Anyway, did we just do Clovis?
No, Clovis, I saved for you because it was a question specifically for you. We did Bob's.
Okay. And thank you, Bob.
Oh gosh, yes.
Clovis. Hey, Mr. Regular, what is your opinion on my car? Bear in mind, this is going to be my opinion.
Yes.
1981 Volvo C 262C Betrone. My opinion is I have no idea what that is.
Picture time.
Yeah, picture time.
Page,
If only you could do
picture
super
page, just
chats with
come and get
pictures.
some date rape
Then we'd
drugs.
probably get anyway.
Oh God.
That weird Italian built
It's-
luxury Volvo.
It's an 80s. Yeah, that's the thing. Is like Bertone's like a luxury
Oh,
brand.
Love the
I really
vids,
know.
keep
Oh,
the
is that
good
the
work.
one that had? It was like a weird, like long door coupe.
We're about to find out because this is a whole name I have to. Okay, Bertone. There we go.
Yeah, I think I know.
it's an
exact-
80s.
it's-
Oh
it's
my,
neat.
yeah.
I think it's neat.
That's
I think it's
frickin'
very
cool as
See,
interesting.
if I looked at that, I wouldn't have any idea that that's a special model.
Do you want to know what comes to mind? I don't mean to cut you
Hmm,
off,
no,
Brian.
go ahead.
Mercedes.
Oh God, no! You
'Cause
know
I
what
was thinking of
immediately comes to my mind?
Hmm.
TC by Maserati.
Yep, drove one of those.
Looks I get the same vibes in my head. from
Wow,
that
you
car
paid
that-
extra for a square body Volvo.
Mhm.
Congratulations. You'll impress the other weird people. You may, I guess, be a hit at Radwood.
Yeah.
Well,
That-
okay,
this
I can
would- this
understand
would-
buying it now, but then? Why?
I mean, it's absolutely like
It's literally the TC by Maserati.
we can't.
man.
Yeah, it is in the Volvo spec, which means like it's generally on a different level, but the principle is the same.
Correct.
Um,
It's the same
now we're
kind
on
of
the
package,
board.
but it's unique, and I dig it. Just like I dig the TC by Maserati. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty sick. I
Did you film that in Far Hills, by the way?
It was somewhere in Jersey. I
Dude,
forget where.
That's literally like right by where I work.
Bada
Really?
bing.
Do you
Yeah.
know? Do you know that?
The
that-
area, Rob Francis.
What's Rob Francis?
It's a really like boutique, like high-end car dealer.
Oh.
Well, we were at a boutique, high-end car dealer.
That's
Oh,
got to be
bada
the
bing.
place because it looks from the video looks exactly the same.
There
Was
you
it
go.
off 202, 206?
I can't remember.
No.
What even are numbers?
If Tony Airlines is watching, say if you remember that. And the two guys there were fans.
I'm pretty sure that was it though.
The two like salesmen who worked there. There was a really nice like TA. I think it was a TA Firebird.
Okay.
With low miles in there.
Was there a Lotus Esprit there?
There might have been
White one, all white on
I
white.
can't remember. There was an F-Type there.
Okay.
There
okay.
was one of the original Tesla Roadsters.
All right.
and there are a bunch of old Wampa Dampa cars. I have no
Yeah.
idea what. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a lot of weird stuff. His inventory fluctuates. I my coworker actually works for him, but we work very in close proximity to that place,
Okay.
so I pass it all the time. It's pretty neat. It's a neat spot.
Thank you very much, Lois Project. Thank you for your donation. My buddy is engine swapping a 12-valve Cummins into a 90s Bronco. I like your friend's style.
Wait,
With a Raptor body kit.
what does
NEC
that even mean? Go on.
It sounds like big, brodozer
Any
fender
suggestions
flares.
on
And,
the-
Okay, so 12-valve Cummins, which means 2 valves per cylinder. It's a straight 6.
Right.
okay.
Into a 90s Bronco with a Raptor body kit. So how are you making a Raptor body kit fit a 90s Bronco?
It's probably going to be real
Just the
wide fenders, front and back,
Like,
and big, like the rivet style flares.
that's what
with
I'm
Okay.
thinking,
big
but I'm
chunky
thinking
tires.
of the Raptor, and the Raptor doesn't have the rivet style flares. I'm pretty sure it's just got
It's
wide.
got some lights. Yeah, but he's probably going to be something
I
like
don't know.
that.
something weird.
Yep.
I
Sick,
like the
whatever it is.
idea.
I like the idea too.
Sounds like a
big
Prerunner.
diesels going into stuff old because
It's cool with me.
Matt Walsh showed me this video of a guy who put just an old diesel Cummins into like a 78 Monte Carlo or something like that.
Oh my god.
And it's doing burnouts, but they're low revving, quiet burnouts.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just
It's, I'm idling, let me hit the brakes.
yeah,
and it's just
exactly,
lighting the tires up,
exactly.
but it's not making much noise.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Morty.
All
Bro, all right. Well, if it's okay to burp,
Nice.
then we're about to hit that. Next beer, I'm a burpy boy.
right.
But no, and then he said, any suggestions on new axles on that? I mean,
I have no
that's-
idea.
I feel like
Just
I
hit
mean-
up the drive shaft shop at that point, man.
Yeah.
I mean, axles, we're not talking rear ends. I mean, when you're talking old Fords and you don't know what you're building, the answer is always 8.8 rear. Because
Or
you can-
9-inch rather too. I
fuck
mean, they're
the 9-inch.
oh, he said, fuck you.
Fuck in every direction.
I
The
want to
stupid
hear.
9-inch.
All right, let's hear an
so
elaboration.
overrated.
Is it
Everybody
really?
thinks they need a
Get
9-inch,
heated, I'm getting
and
a
they
beer.
don't. Are you doing 12,000 horsepower?
But he's doing a ton
12.
of torque though. That's a dude. That's a
An
torque
8
monster.
An 8.8 can take 100 horsepower, can like 850 foot-pounds of torque. When I said 100, I mean 1,000. You
Oh,
build up.
okay.
My point is, parts for an 8.8 are everywhere.
Okay.
9 inches are go at a premium because people think they need
Right.
it. Go ask Bruce Henn. You want to build some big power thing? An 8.8 is perfectly fine. They
I
you
can
build up the
sympathize.
interiors. They're easier to work on. If you feel like
But in a
you need a
diesel
9-inch,
application is where my variable is. That's what I want to know.
okay, we don't know what this guy's doing to the Cummins.
I'm sure it's
Is
going
it
to be
just
worked.
regular?
It's going
Or
to
is
be
it
worked.
going to have a, or if it's going to have a turbo like a washing machine, like that.
I want elaboration. Where
Yeah,
is
Lord
are
Project,
you
you
still
can-
here?
They're probably
Please?
in the main chat. We got to go back
Yeah.
to that. You can elaborate in there. We'll try to get a look at it once we get through the rest of these. VY, thank you for your donation. What are your thoughts on the 8th generation Civic SIs? Is that before they went turbo?
Yes, yeah, it's still naturally aspirated.
Fuck
I
'em.
think 8th and 9.
Don't care.
What?
Don't care.
Are you serious?
Don't care.
Come on back.
Don't care.
I think it's a brilliant.
I think you
car.
should buy. I think you should buy a base model Civic with a stick shift and screw the SI.
Why?
It-
What
why
year?
It's
is
not the
though?
Are
R.
you talking about new?
But you're not going to get it though. You're not going to
eighth
get
gen-
the
This
Type
guy's
R,
talking about
though.
8th gen.
But you
8th
can't
gen.
get the Type R here in that generation, so
Yeah.
go for it. It's
No,
a
don't
great
get
Civic
car.
it.
SI.
No. If it's not like save up and either get a Type R or you get a base model Civic with a D series engine and a manual transmission, that's the Civic you get.
I
You
mean,
can
well,
beat on it all day long and no problem.
but you can do that with the SI too.
So, all right, 8th gen Civic Si. That's one I've actually spent a lot
Yeah,
of time
they're
in. I highly
great
recommend it.
cars.
They're great cars.
Hell
I
yeah!
don't think so.
Why?
Because
Why?
the R exists.
The Type R doesn't exist for
Not for
us
that-
in
that
that
generation.
generation.
I don't care.
But you
You
can't even
should-
import one. All right, assuming this person's in the United
Yes,
States.
assuming they're in the
Because
US.
we're in 2020 right now and the Type R exists.
But the price gap is
you
huge
can get
between both of those cars.
yeah, you're in a different.
You are in a different league, and plus, who wants to deal with all the heating problems the Type R has?
That's
Granted, I
backwards.
love the Type R. I love it
Yeah.
to death. I want one. It's a bucket list car for me, but I don't want to deal with the heat problems. I don't want to deal with turbos. I don't want to deal with just direct injection. I like that SI. And 8th and 9th gen, love them. Yes, for a beat around car, hell yeah. I take just a
Keep it
base
stock.
stripper.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
Keep
That-
it. Keep it
that-
stock.
Keep it stock.
yes. Keep
I'll
it
say
stock,
that.
please.
Keep it stock. Because
that
I had a friend who
hatch
had
we-
one
that
dumped on
hatch
its
we-
ass.
That hatch we once did.
Oh, the EP EP2 or whatever, the EP3. Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
Those are cool.
Well, we did 2 of them. We did one in Kutztown, which is the red one, and then the older one that was
Harold.
1990.
Oh,
4 on the floor, D series.
that was the one you
throttle
kept
body
comparing my
injection.
AE82 to. No, I'm
Yeah,
kidding.
yes,
that
yes,
thing. That
yes.
thing.
That
Yeah.
was the oh god, what the
Yeah.
heck? The EF hatch, right?
Yeah,
the
it's-
EF hatch.
It was
what-
blue.
Yes,
it had one
EF.
dent on it.
Yep.
Right, because it was
And-
before EG and EK. Okay.
Correct.
That thing. Shit, that thing is now 1990. That is now 30 years old, and it shifts like a new Honda.
Oh, it's so good.
Yes. Oh yeah,
It's so good.
it's unbelievable.
I would kill
Yep.
for a CRX of that vintage.
Oh, same. Yeah, and you reviewed one
I'd take
too.
the hatch over the CRX. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yes, but I do like the SI. The biggest thing with that is you're going to be looking out for faded paint.
Oh.
'cause the paint is
My
just
buddy,
shit.
I told you he's the one who has the WRX now.
Mhm,
That was
mhm.
his thing. Is it was the paint was shot, and then there was some
Wrap it.
Yep.
yeah. Well, yeah, and that's another
You
friend
can
of mine.
wrap
Like
it.
I have the friends. If you ever
or
seen those-
re-clear it. You could re-clear it too if you wanted to.
yeah, like that. Remember that red IS 300 we drove by earlier? Had the big formative sticker across the front of it?
Yes.
So that formative group is like started by a couple of people I know from college, and
What is it?
it's just a car culture
group.
kind of
Oh, okay.
club thing. They do meets, they do stuff like that. And they're but they're great. And my buddy had a 8th gen Civic Si wrapped like this like teal kind of
Yeah, if
like
you do
color.
wrap, you got to do
and
like
he-
80s
And
colors.
he dumped it
Oh,
on its
yes.
nuts, and he had
no, I
it was
wouldn't go that
straight
far.
piped, and I
No.
was like, I drove it when it was dumped and straight
Oh
piped
god.
before he put like rep wheels on it, dude. I mean, now he's got a brand new SI with like big turbo, and he's making big power, and he's like got it tuned, and that thing's insane. And I haven't driven that, but I will say the 8th gen Civic Si, I drove my buddies in high school, and I drove that one that was dumped on its nuts. It's just fun.
Yeah,
I
they're
wouldn't
fun.
dump it on its nuts. I
No,
might get some
same.
lowering springs. I have Megan Racing lowering springs on my Yaris, and I think they're great.
Mhm.
I mean, for the price that I
Yeah,
paid,
for the
I haven't
price,
had
it's
any
good.
issues
Yeah.
at all.
I still recommend TRD, but if
Oh,
you-
well, yeah. And I would just say, yeah, my thoughts on an 8th gen Civic Si, thumbs up. I'm gonna use the bathroom now.
Yeah.
Yes, but again, I think it really depends on what you're going to use it for. Ultimately, if if it's just going to be a daily driver, you're not going to take it to track days, stuff like that. Why do you need an SI?
Mhm.
You don't. Then go with Brian's point.
Right.
Then just get a base boy with a stick shift and do your thing. Sink your money in suspension, tires, and just have some fun.
Yeah. Will Down says, on the tires point, my recommendation, like, what should I do to my car? And the answer is usually tires.
Usually tires.
But if you want to spend just that little bit extra money and you have the space for it, second set of wheels
Yes.
with
100%.
a different kind of tire on it. Usually the summer tire and then the all seasons, or if you have a Subaru, it's the all seasons and the snows.
Correct.
And you can just swap them off and you got a different, it's great.
Yeah, you're good to go.
Will Downs. Hello, Will Downs.
What's up, Will?
Again. The QFC Kroger I worked at started senior citizen hours. My local grocery store did the same thing. Look in the parking lot and you'll see so many GMB bodies. K cars in
Oh my
98
God, it's bad.
and 98 to 07 Honda Accords. Brilliant. Yep.
I still can't get over that Swift we saw today.
That was a nice thing. Talking
Remember
about
that
the
that
Swift.
Swift that was like in decent shape?
that
That-
had been resprayed.
Had to have been. It was
All
like
right,
halfway decent.
This one's about you.
Oh God.
He says, dude on the this is Nick Bellinger.
"What up, Nick?"
Thank you for your donation again. Dude on the left looks like a little Anthony Kiedis. Anyway, enjoy some beer money.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Oh, beer.
Burr.
Thank you for minding the cables. And thank you, Nick. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm jealous of the hair because
dude, I need
hair
a
days
trim.
are over.
I need a trim.
I
Quite
I
bad.
think you need to dye that.
Oh,
if
dude,
you're-
it,
if you're
it
working
used to be dyed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it used to be dyed back in the day.
I stink. Hello, I stink again. Thank
What's
you
up,
so much for
sir?
your generosity. Glad you all think my hearse is cool. My neighbor doesn't. She tried to have it towed because it scared her.
Oh God.
my-
Were you getting letters from the township?
The car is a 1984 Cadillac Fleetwood limo chassis. It's
They're
still
so cool.
carbureted and uses a TH400 transmission.
Right.
So yeah, then
Yeah.
just rebuild that engine
Yes,
with the
that's
board.
the
Yeah.
Route
By
to
the
go.
way, great Lemons Rally rig. Of course.
Yes, and my other
Mhm.
piece of
And
advice to
Thank,
that.
thank you for the donation. That's excellent. Thank you for following up on that. It helps.
Yes, my other bit of advice is if you when you do go back and get all of that done, get a nice Edelbrock carb or something of that with an electric choke. Save yourself save yourself some hassle.
I got an electric choke on my Falcon and it's disconnected because I'm like, I kept adjusting it. No, I had an electric choke, but it was
That open
wired
horn.
weird. So we got rid of it. Now it has a manual choke. did it for a while, and then I just disconnected it, because all I really do is I start the car and then I just let it warm up until it's just running smooth, and then I leave, because it usually takes a while. I like to get on the car and I like to drive it right away.
Yeah,
like
and,
to
and
romp.
as you should. I mean, it's good. I mean, maybe with a carbureted car, not so much, but
Still
you know
not
what
as
you're
dank
doing.
as the original, but it
Right?
smells good. That
Mhm.
smells good. So
That's
now
the
I know
thing.
when I get more of these, I'm gonna get the
This is
mango.
the mango. Yeah, the mango is definitely the best one. This is the first one they made of the G13 strains, or rather of the strains. This is G13.
Loric Project again. Thank you so much. To answer your question, the body kit, and this is the
the Bronco.
Bronco boy.
Cool.
The body kit comprises of brand new panels with a new grille. So the front
Nice.
end looks exactly like a 2012 Raptor.
Oh, very neat.
Interesting.
Sick.
It's gonna be cool.
That's like pre-runner status. Like I want to see that built into a pre-runner.
it's gonna be like a wide-bodied Bronco.
Short, a Bronco. That's
Oh
a short
God,
wheelbase.
that's so sick.
Raptor lights.
No, I love I love Broncos. A friend of mine in high school had a Bronco.
Yeah.
We legit like he adopted the like I drive a Ford thing. Like
Okay.
he took that to his soul.
Bleed blue.
So his name's Mike. We started calling him Clem. He works. He used to work for the Reading Railroad,
Did he always have
Reading
some dip in
Lines
his lip?
in high school, and now he's like a land surveyor and stuff. But like he had a '90s Bronco that was like his daily. He drove that to
Those
high
things
school
are
and
going up in
everything.
price
Oh,
now.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm sure he's still got. I mean, he needs some rust repair, but like
Literally,
he has
I
an-
like every Bronco.
he's got a '78 F250. Like
Nice.
Ooh,
and he just
nice.
put like he did a fresh engine rebuild at the end of like high school.
I
So I
love
was like,
those
oh my
things. They look
god!
so tough.
And he's got a mullet, and his name is now like Clembo Ford. Like that's like his
Clembo
name.
Ford.
But yeah,
That is great.
so oh my god,
That is so good.
dude, Broncos are sick, and that's awesome.
Yes. Awesome.
thank
Very
you for
good
the
luck to his
donation.
build. So yeah, so at that rate, I'm gonna safely assume that he's gonna work that motor a bit.
Yeah. I want you to
Yeah.
work the suspension the most.
Yes.
Because what I want to do is like I was thinking about it today. I was looking like I'm just driving my boat that I keep not naming because we shot a review of it today. But I just like keep thinking like, oh, this has more suspension travel than my Yaris. I could drive it off this road into this field, but like then I'm like, well, I should get a pre-runner and I should build a pre-runner. And then I'm like, wait, I'm not a 4x4 guy. I don't know
Yeah.
anything about that. I know cars that are slammed on their nuts. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, okay, well,
And you
maybe
can
I
always-
just need to buy a side by side. Like maybe I just
mean,
need to get one of those.
Dude, I
like
can't
instead of
believe how
buying another
expensive they
motorcycle.
are. They're like 20 grand.
Okay,
Mm.
disgusting. Never
new,
mind. Are you
like
talking about the
new.
sidekick, like the or the?
No, like the ones that Yamaha makes, the side by sides that
Yeah,
are like
I didn't
they're
realize
like
so
big boy
expensive.
quads.
Okay, that's
they're
gross. Never
huge.
mind.
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy a old Suzuki. No, what's the one? The Suzuki Sidekick. I'm just gonna buy
Mhm.
or
Yeah, or
What's the
buy a
Geo?
samurai. Let's buy a samurai.
or a Samurai. Yeah.
Those things are sick.
Mhm.
Yeah. No, I just want to buy, or I'll just buy my dad's '98 Rav4 with 200,000 miles on it.
Yeah.
And just beat the hell out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very legal, very cool. Thank you for the donation. Mount Hood, and that's a mountain out in Oregon, or is it Southern Washington? think
I
that's
want to
what
believe it's
geography.
Washington
No,
because
it's
I don't know
Oregon.
anything.
Mount Hood has summer skiing up to the highest point of the mountain. Wow. When you come to Mount St. Helens, are you going to be filming the coast as well? It's very pretty. I'd like to, but time will not allow it. And now, of course, the RCR PNW is in question. We are planning to go there. We were planning to go there in May, but now everything is.
Keep touching my face.
Yeah, don't do that, man.
Keep them
So,
around each other.
Wiling out.
No, we are not filming the coast. We are planning to film in Mount St. Helens and then in the suburbs around Portland, Oregon. So we have our cars lined up. We have our fixer set up, and I didn't buy the plane tickets.
That's
It's
good.
sort of weird. Like flights haven't gotten cheaper. Hotels got cheaper, but flights
Yeah.
didn't. They've just scaled back on where they're flying. And I got a notice from American Airlines is now they are not serving food or drinks on flights
Whoa.
less than 2,200 miles. So really, unless you're going,
Unless you're going international.
unless you're going like here to LA is like 3,000 miles, then you may still get. And when they do, and they are serving food, it's going to be a streamlined service, which means it's probably going to be
prepackaged.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not going to be hot meals if you
Yeah.
bought them. So
Yeah.
hot brown, cold yellow.
There's this this is amazing meal that you can order. You have to pre-order it on
I don't know
American.
enough about flying.
Oh, they have a charcuterie plate.
I love that word.
Ooh.
It's a meat and cheese plate, but you
Yeah.
also get hummus, and
Oh,
it's
that
like
sounds
it's adult
fantastic.
Lunchables, and it keeps you it like eats up almost 2 hours of your time because you're making like these little sandwiches, and then you get the
It'll
pita
pace
chips,
ya.
and then they
Look,
come
I'm
around with the hot
fancy
bread,
now.
and I'm just drinking gin and tonics. I'm having a blast eating this. I get up,
I'd be having a ball.
I pre-poo, but on the planes, but when the drinks are coming, the pee follows. So
of course.
but yeah,
Only
that's my drink now. That's my as long as American Airlines has the Zoe's Kitchen charcuterie plate.
Oh,
that's what I'm
Zoe's
always.
Kitchen. I've heard of them. That's like been an ex who was like, we gotta go there. Gotta go there. Go ahead.
Where are they
Mediterranean?
based out of?
I have no
Educate me.
idea. It's probably just like everywhere. It's like a Mediterranean style
Yeah.
food place.
Ooh, oh, I'm already
Yeah.
there.
Yep.
Already
I
there.
think I have a picture of the. Anyway, stupid airline things. I can't wait till everything goes back to order.
I still want to meet Tony. Speaking of airlines,
Oh yeah,
yeah, I
He
want to meet
lives
him one of
in,
these days.
out near Princeton.
Yeah,
Cool.
he's in the
Oh,
one-
he's right near me.
And he
Yeah,
has the Honda
yeah.
Beat.
Yes, he does.
So
Cannot
yeah,
wait to
he'd
see
love
him.
to drive your car. We got to have like a party or just something in Jersey at one time, like not something legit for RCR. Just
Fist pumping.
of course now everything's weird, but he did buy a house, so
Oh, cool.
he's gonna have a garage. Can't wait for that.
Nice.
Awesome.
So-
Awesome. Yep.
Yeah.
And like I said, my
I'm inviting people to somebody else's
Else's-
house that he didn't get yet.
well, I'm inviting you to my place since
Okay.
we have
A
the
lift.
lift and all of that stuff.
Oil
And-
changing party.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
father and I actually just reinforced it. So to the garage walls and the rafters. So because we have a garage separate from the house and it's a 2-story boy. So it's pretty cool.
Ooh.
Yes.
That's that jam.
Hell yeah.
So very legal, very cool. Okay, thank you for,
Thank you for the
that with that. Henry Reichen, I think we're gonna wrap this up pretty soon. So please no more super chats, although we will answer anyone that
Yes.
have already been
I have
that we
nothing
haven't
going
refreshed.
on, so I'm more than happy to answer questions.
Henry Reichen,
Reichen.
Commander Reichen. I hope to buy a new car later this year. Top choice is a Honda Fit EX.
They're going away, aren't they?
I don't know trims.
Hmm,
EXs, I think, is a mid-grade.
okay. Or EXL. They probably changed the trim levels on the newer generations. But also considering a Subaru Impreza hatch. Thoughts? Okay, these are two very different cars. The Honda Fit, whether you get a manual or automatic, will get you better mileage.
Mm-hmm. That's because
True.
less rolling resistance, less wheels to move.
You also will have the same or maybe even more cargo room in that than the Impreza hatch. The
I would-
Impreza hatch has a low roof line.
That's
The new Impreza hatches, they don't ride as high as the old ones, certainly not a Forester,
Right.
but they have lower roofs.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And they're not as boxy as the Fit. The Fit
That's-
is going to be more
you can fit
utility.
More in it.
yeah. And as well
also
as
the Fit has that great cup holder for the driver's on
Yeah.
the driver's side,
Is
away
that-
from
Mhm.
everybody else.
Similar to the Yaris. Like my Yaris has like the flip out cup
it's a
holders
little
on the
similar.
dash.
on the left-hand side.
Yeah.
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 But that you remember you got that weird windshield with that weird dash draw. The windshield's very far away
where
from
they have
Way
that,
far.
that
But
extra
I
glass
like
in the
that
corner.
because when
Yeah.
you put Rain-X on it, it works. The steeper the rake of the
Right.
windshield, the better Rain-X
That's
works.
true.
Pew!
That is very true.
It's going to come off. It's going to be a little bit harsher. It's going to be a little bit noisier than the
Mhm.
Than the
Impreza hatch.
Impreza.
The Impreza hatch is going to be a car with a longer wheelbase. It will be more comfortable.
Yep,
Mhm.
and more functional because of the all-wheel drive, but that's more service. You have to
More-
remember service.
More driving functional. Like
yeah,
if you need cargo space, functional might have a different meaning.
right, true.
The
Yes.
CVTs, the Toyota CVT or Toyota, the Subaru CVTs
can we
get
not talk
better
about CVTs?
mileage than the manuals.
Yes, just make sure you change your fluid. Don't listen to them when they say it's non-serviceable. You change that stuff at 60K or earlier.
Mhm.
All right.
Yes.
But
Or
the
don't buy a
manuals
CVT.
also, of course, manual superior. So the a manual Subaru
Superior.
Impreza hatch, it's fine. You're not going to get the 6-speed. You're going to get the 5-speed on the base. Actually, I think all the Impreza.
Well, no, I
Imprezas
think
just have the
I think
5.
they're still doing 6 now. No,
I don't know.
because of the
I'd have-
cross-track. The cross-track
What
It-
6-speed manual you're talking
six-speed
about?
manual now.
It
Yeah,
may be a different thing.
Hell's if I know, bro. All I know is that the
Crosstrek maybe
WRX
getting
has
the
a 6.
2.5. No, wait, the Crosstrek
Still
still
2.0.
2-liter,
Yeah.
2.0. Okay,
Yeah,
it's the
still
same
2.0.
engine.
Yep. It's just direct injected. You have to worry about that stupid carbon buildup problem. Because I think a better comparison would be the Fit to the Corolla hatch.
Yeah,
100%. Because the Corolla
the
hatch is
Fit's gonna
fantastic.
have way more cargo room.
The Fit
You
is, yeah.
have to decide
kind of the two
where
cars
your
I've been looking at.
priority is.
Mhm.
Is it cargo room or do you need that all-wheel drive?
Right.
Yeah.
That's the question you have.
Or the MPGs too.
Yep. The new Impreza hatches are the new.
They're not
with the
bad.
they're not bad. They're like 32 to maybe 35. A manual fit will get 40
Yeah.
if you're gentle with
Gentle.
it. So,
Yep.
yeah. If mileage and utility matter, fit. But if you need that all-wheel drive, if you want to do donuts in the, like neutral donuts in the snow, then your Impreza hatch is the answer.
Yep. And if you and also
And they're both
if-
going to be reliable.
Yeah.
Carbon buildup notwithstanding.
Yeah.
yes, exactly. Carbon buildup notwithstanding is correct. Because if you are worried about that, Toyota Corolla hatchback is going to have your back because it's got
He said
dual
new
M port.
car, so he's not really going to have to worry about possible carbon buildup.
Yeah, he's going to worry around 30 to 50,000 is when it's going to start.
Let's see.
right.
Please no more super chats, although we will answer the ones that are here. Acoustic Theory says it's so nice to be able to touch base once in a while.
Should have like said that in stereo with
Yeah.
you.
Yes. Or
It's so nice to be able to
Touch base. As the levels just blow the fuck up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for your
it is
donation. No
nice.
question, but thank you,
Thank you,
Acoustic
sir.
Theory. Loric Project again for the third time.
Man, you are the man.
Guy.
I have to
Killing
pee.
it.
Ben, can you take this one?
Yes. So the Bronco will be getting new suspension. He's looking at 5-lick suspension, but not
Man, he's
100%
going
on it yet.
all
He's
out.
going into debt with the build. That's what we like to hear, boy.
Got your priorities in order.
I went into debt with the whole college thing. I don't recommend it. I would rather go into debt with a vehicular build.
Yes.
No, I mean 5-link suspension. Yeah, that's I think like where it's just like again, I'm not a four.
It's
4x4
it's
guy.
literally a pre-runner build.
Yeah,
at
because
this
that's
point.
where it's like the one swing arm's going across to the other side and the other. Yeah,
It's like an
hell
X in the
yes.
front.
Hell
It looks
yes,
so
brother.
sick.
That's exactly what I was picturing for that vehicle. That's what we like to hear.
Yep.
Because all I know is like whatever Hoonigan covers when they do like King of the Hammers and shit like that. I'm
Yes.
sorry, I'm super millennial about that. Like
It's gonna be
just-
crazy.
I watch a lot
but-
of Hoonigan shit.
I'm surprised they don't. I'm not one of their targeted viewers.
Yeah, no, it's actually
Surpri-
like I was
surprisingly
surprised because like when they go into like anything that like I watching like the Vagabond Falcon stuff was great, you know,
Mhm.
and seeing the Vagabond Falcon
Yeah.
and driving it, and like any series, any YouTube channel that does like builds and stuff like that. At least when I watch it, like when I was interning and I was like interested in getting into the YouTube thing,
Mhm.
I was like, oh, it's research. I was like, this is
Right,
homework.
it
I
is.
can waste all my days watching YouTube. But now at least like when I watch people build cars, I feel like I might be learning something.
Yeah,
I'm
I
like,
mean,
oh, well, I've encountered something like this before. I've seen this before. I know what this does, or like
Right.
I know how to use this tool, or whatever.
you have a frame of reference.
Yeah.
It's like the biggest thing.
yeah,
I mean, you might not be 100% mechanically inclined,
Yeah.
but you got something to go by. That's why I really liked the Mighty Car Mods build of Super Gramps. Super in
Oh,
depth.
I love that one.
Love
Yeah.
that build. Oh my god! And shout out to
because
them.
my
That's
dad
fantastic
has a
build.
Gramps. My
Ha-
dad has that 19. It's still in a storage unit. 1990 Toyota Cressida with
Oh
a
my
rebuilt
God.
7M. Everything stock,
That-
maroon.
Dude, that thing is so awesome.
yeah.
It
I remember you
needs
took that to
the-
Radwood last.
I
year.
did take
Yes.
it to
yeah,
Radwood. We got primo parking, but that thing,
smack
the
that.
front seat is just destroyed.
yeah.
It's the Toyota leather pleather
Yes.
came
Yeah.
apart.
Yeah. Yep.
But he doesn't want to replace it. I don't know.
Mhm.
He's going to hang on to that car. I know.
I mean, you're gonna
inheriting it.
probably inherit.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
that,
inherit that
dude.
thing.
We
That's
gotta-
why I'm
gotta
so
do something
excited.
cool to that thing, man.
I told
I've
you.
seen LS swaps of Cressidas.
No,
you
just
got to
keep
cut the
engine.
subframe.
No,
Yeah.
keep the engine,
Well,
please.
the
Just make it a
swaps
stick,
I've seen on Cressidas because I watch him again is
one JZ?
one J's.
Yeah.
One J's, two
Oh, yeah,
J's
so
with
sick.
turbos, single
Whi-
turbo.
which I can commend. And then you know what you should do? Save the 7M and give it to somebody who's gonna put it into like a nice Mark III Supra. Like do
Mm.
that. Like
that wants to do like a vintage,
like
like
a-
period
like a-
correct build.
Yes,
yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly, dude. Because that would be so nice. Because
Yeah.
somebody would be like, thank every lucky star that they have that they got that motor.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard me, if I've told you about it. My dad has a 1987 Toyota camper truck.
Ooh, okay.
And-
That little truck that's totally underpowered.
Yes,
yeah,
22
yeah.
22 RE.
RE.
Yup,
Yeah.
22 RE four banger in there, and it's got a camper attached to it. With like a
Wait,
high.
Wait, did you send me a picture of that?
I might have.
Yeah, the pre-taco.
Yeah, exactly. And I was talking to him about it, and he's got like, it's got an auto in it now. It came with another manual, and he was talking about transmissions. I was like, Dad, you need a 1UZ in that thing. And I was like,
You
Dad,
do need a one
because
user,
I was telling him, I was like,
Yeah.
Dad, the greatest thing about it is, so he has a house that he bought. Like he bought this fixer upper house on 3.5 acres in South Carolina. It's like 25 grand.
Mhm.
Like it's
Wow.
not, it's like 40 minutes from Charleston. It's not in a great area, but like
Mhm.
insanely cheap. The house was completely run down. He knows the plumbing and electrical. His wife knows the carpentry and all that.
Mhm.
So like it's a beautiful house now. And then they're like, oh, we're done our house. Let's buy an RV. And so,
I remember this story.
yeah,
yes.
and so pretty much like gutted, redone, and I'm like, Dad, all right, fine. But when I inherit it, I was like, because either you're going to sell this to me,
yeah,
or you're going to move on to a better place. And if it's not Asheville and it's the afterlife, I'm going to get this camper. And I'm like, Dad, you need a 1UZ. Like, could you imagine? Just because if it can go to a million miles, but not Matt Farah's $1 million Lexus, then I want that in an RV. Because like you've got all the power and torque you need for a camper, and
yeah.
And like I said, if you can't find a 1UZ, you
are the heads gonna fit?
Yeah, it'll fit.
There's room.
People,
no, there is actually a lot of room in that.
People do it.
Okay.
People do it. That's the two popular swaps. You do a 1UZ into that body. You do a 1UZ, or you do the first gen / third gen Forerunner. The 3.4 V6.
Yeah.
Yep. You throw that in there, and those are huge common swaps for those. People do it all the time.
That's
it's great.
Could you imagine a camper? Just,
that would be so sick.
I want to do bad skids. I just want to do fat burnies.
Big skids.
Welded diff.
Nick Bellinger, I think this is our last super chat.
Yeah.
Said, I love the G13 Mango, and
That's
it's
what you
from
have.
my home state.
Yes.
More Georgia boys.
Georgia.
Woo.
Georgia, when we went there in the summertime, that was.
Oh, why would you ever go there in the summertime? I've only been to South Carolina to visit my dad in the winter.
You must have been sticky with humidity. Out the butt.
I couldn't think. I got dumb outside. It's weird walking outside. It's night and it's 85 degrees.
Yeah.
But I like that.
And that was the thing is I remember arriving.
Thank you for your donation.
Yeah, I remember arriving in Hawaii and they were like all bundled up. They're like, sorry, it's so cold. I'm like, it's 64 degrees. I was like, what are you talking about?
Yep.
Just the
world. I'm like down below the computer screen over here. Yeah. People in the normal chat says, as far as sedan goes, are people talking amongst themselves?
Ooh, Hyundais though.
Oh yes,
yeah.
I could
nice
tangent
G80
on
today.
Hyundais.
Nice G80.
We saw the
today,
Genesis.
Man. Beautiful.
I want an Elantra GT N line. I want a Hyundai Veloster N. I want an Elantra so bad. Like,
why?
This 1.6 turbo has been in like everything they've made for the past 10 years. So I figure by now it's tried and true.
Yes, because the Gamma, that's based off the Gamma 1.6, and they are like bulletproof.
Yeah,
carbon issues withstanding. They're fantastic.
Yeah, and that's like even the manuals I've heard that have like crappy feel and all that, but I'm like, it's a Hyundai. I don't expect much. I'm not expecting Honda shifters, even Toyota shifters out of a Hyundai. But I've also like all of Hyundai's automatics, except for like the really heavy models, like the not the Santa Fe. I don't know. They're dual clutch.
Yeah.
So they're like decent. I mean, they're probably not reliable.
No,
but
I very worry about long term.
Like I would not, but dude, a manual Elantra GT N line. It looks like from looking at an Elantra GT from the back, I mistake it for a Volkswagen Golf.
I think they look fantastic. And I have a weird soft spot for the very first generation Forte coupes. They look so cool.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. Actually,
they're like really tangented right off the TC.
Yeah,
it's like a bastardized cousin.
Yeah.
But I love them. Absolutely dig them.
That's true. I never really looked at them that way, but yeah, that's the TC.
They're TC.
God bless the TC. Anyone got TC questions? Remember that one? I don't remember that one. Don't look at that.
I remember that one because I liked it.
Don't look at it.
Which way is loose?
Lefty, righty. You're backwards. So who knows?
Up and down.
But no, that's like
this is the
gun
one
to my
mic
head
stand that's just droops. So it's
droopier.
going to be high. I'm going to be like right here below the mic stand. There was a question out there that asked if I was supplying any supplies to AT through hikers during these strange times. And the answer is they're not here yet.
Yeah, I can imagine they wouldn't.
Yeah, it's March. Like maybe you get some like really crazy people who started in January would make it here by May.
Yeah.
But most people here show up in July. So, I mean,
and that's
who knows
when things might be. I mean, then again, I guess the best way to socially isolate would be just hike the AT.
The thing is, though, you can't wash yourself. You can't wipe yourself. You're in the middle of the woods. And sometimes you're all huddling up in a shelter that's like half the size of this room. You cramp 8 people in it. I mean, you're living like
it's
a
little
bum.
questionable.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound great.
And then it's like, especially we had that problem filming at the park today. Like all the public restrooms are just got the lock on it.
Locked.
Yeah.
Dude, I went for a run the other day and I was like, oh, I'll run by the elementary school because they're closed. I was like, I'll just use their equipment, like the monkey bars, to do a workout.
That's what I've been doing that.
And then there were closed, like, granted, I could have walked past them, but there were
Mhm.
like, we're closed signs, like,
Oh,
don't use this. And I was like, okay, I didn't bring my Lysol wipes.
Did you see
either,
when
so-
we were in the park today? They had the police tape around the jungle gym.
No, I didn't
No, I
see
didn't
that.
see
I
that.
didn't know there was a jungle gym.
What did it say again?
Park.
You know,
Police tape, just
uh,
like
just
it was
police
just
tape.
caution
Oh.
tape or whatever. Yeah.
Oh.
No, it's
I-
at the top of the hill. Like,
totally missed it.
Right.
yeah,
okay.
by the pavilions. There's a whole band shell and everything there. We
Wow.
were in the lower half of the
That's right. yeah.
Okay.
okay.
It's
Park.
funny. I've like never stepped foot in that part of the
Hmm.
park,
Hmm.
and I went to school there for 4 years, and I've helped you with plenty
There's a
of
bunch of
reviews
stuff.
there.
There's a roller rink there.
Well, I do have friends that did was it pucks and suds or whatever, like the the suds, anyway, where they just drink beer and play hockey. But, yeah, so that I've had friends that do that, because I also have my friend who now lives in Hamburg used to live in the apartment complex right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, it's funny, I sent them a Snapchat today. I was, and they were like, oh my gosh, I remember. But it's kind
Oh.
of funny because yeah, you've been doing reviews there for a while,
Yeah.
and that was when I
A
found
while.
out about it.
I miss living in Kutztown, but what I really miss is my early 20s self. And I know it can never come back there again. That's why
What does
I'm
that
like,
mean? What do you mean by that?
I mean, I miss one thing. I miss being able to drink all night and not
Oh my
be getting,
goodness! Even at 24, I'm like, holy crap!
Yeah.
The way it affected
I'm
me when I
drinking
was
2 beer. This is my second beer and this is my last beer.
yeah.
That's it. I know if I drink a third beer, I get like a headache.
Yeah, you're gonna feel
right
terrible.
away.
Yep.
That's
Mm.
not the next morning anymore. It's that night. I'm like,
Yeah.
"Nah."
Mine's the next morning at least, but yeah.
Uh,
Nevertheless,
I think I stopped drinking around your age.
yeah.
I miss, and this is something Nick has echoed. I miss having a crew. I miss having that gang who's always up for stuff. Even
Yeah.
in grad school, there were
Mhm.
people around. You could just roll into Basin Street, the pub, the tavern. I didn't really go into Shorty's because at that time I was a grad student. We don't really go there anymore.
I wouldn't recommend it. Even as an undergrad, I wouldn't recommend it.
You could walk into Global Libations. That's not there anymore. It's an old coffee shop or
heard of
bagel
that.
bar or Uptown Espresso bar. You'll meet a professor. You'll meet someone else in your class. And then like it could be a day like sometime I think one or two semesters I didn't have class on Friday. So I mean you do some work. I went to my office. I would go to the library and you just meet people and your day. I don't know what's gonna happen today, but I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
And
Kind of a
sometimes
good
even as a
mindset to
grad
be
student,
in.
I'd had some drinking days. Like I remember I did drink at the office during Kutz Patty's Day
Yeah.
and just all day, just keep it going, keep eating. We're doing good.
I could never
And-
day drink, even in college. I would take a nap at like 6
Mm.
o'clock, 4 o'clock, whatever.
Ah.
Like we were like beer Olympics. Like
Yeah,
that was
that
like
would be
something my
me.
friend put on.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
we did like one event. My ex-girlfriend got like beer up her nose and was not having a good time. And then
Oh my
like
God.
we went back and took a nap for like 4 hours and came back out and like did the regular nighttime party stuff. Like it was
Yeah.
even in college, I was never really about that. Like I went to Pitt,
Yeah.
and I mean I got my partying out of my system there, I think.
Ah, okay.
Was like because like I was a freshman, and God bless. Here's how you cheat the system. But cheat the system, I mean, all right. Here's how you correctly cheat the system. Don't do what I did. You should go to community college for X amount of years and then transfer to
what
whatever
I did,
university you
yeah.
really want to go to. You get all your gen eds out of the way, pay cheap for them.
Mhm.
Your GPA won't be reflected on your transfer credits.
Nice.
Pro tip. I did it the opposite way, where I paid a disgusting amount of money to get all of my gen eds out of the way at Pitt, and then transferred to Kutztown and paid less for the next 3 years. But I was at Pitt freshman year, and I left with a 2.7 GPA that didn't reflect on my final GPA.
Ah.
Wow.
So my final GPA was, I'm not gonna brag, but I got a medal. So
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
like when you end up studying something you really care about, you
Then
do
you do
well in
well.
it. Like, and that was
Yeah.
the thing, is I was there for like television and film and radio and all that. So
Yeah.
like I was loving it. I was like absorbing this, and it made sense, and I loved it. But at Pitt, I was doing like pre-calc and
Yeah.
history
Right.
of the
And
Soviet
I was gonna
Union.
say it's such a
and-
shame because that's why so many people don't move beyond that, because
Yeah.
you have to get all those gen eds.
And
out
it's
of
a
the way that no one
scam.
cares
It's a
about.
scam.
It's a scam.
Yeah, it
Like
is.
if
It's a total
people want to
scam.
write, if people want to do what I do, no, unless you want to become a teacher, no one has
Yeah.
asked to see my transcripts or anything like that.
Sorry.
So, like, if you want to write, if you want to get better at writing and want to do something like this, you go in undeclared and you just take classes as audits and you just get the knowledge and fuck off.
Yeah.
It's true.
Pay the money that it's just
You
like,
can do that for 2 years and just write like crazy. you'll learn a lot. Gosh,
Learn by doing.
Yeah. It was, and that's the thing is like, admittedly, like college, it helps in certain ways where the sense like the program I was in your senior year, you had to do a full semester of like a full-time internship. And now I work for the company I did my internship at. So like
nice.
there's those opportunities and those
that,
help.
And they're few and far between. I would say you got lucky, but
yeah.
But unfortunately, that's not the same for all people. But I'm happy that it worked out for you.
Yeah, and what I will say is, don't do what I did. Don't do your gen eds at a really big school that costs a lot. Like, don't go to Penn State to do your gen eds and then transfer to like a passive school, or because half of my student loan debt is from that year at Pitt.
Right,
you
really have to do your
like
you got to do your research. I mean, I know everybody stresses, oh, rate your professor, blah blah blah, but you have to get a halfway decent, even adjunct, for your people at the like the community colleges. Just do your research. That's the best thing I can
but it was fun.
Recommend.
And that's the thing is like being my my younger self, and you were talking about like missing your younger self or whatever it was. Like,
I miss my younger self, but I really miss all the people that I know.
And even I'm starting to notice that, where I'm like, oh my goodness, I don't have everyone around me. Like it's got
that's pretty mutual.
Granted, in the current COVID times, like it's like, all right, well, I don't hang out with many people anyway, so I'm just gonna hang out with the same people I've been hanging out with.
Dude, it's been such a struggle. It's been a struggle. I mean, it's literally like myself and my girlfriend. Not that that's a problem or anything, but it's I miss having like conversations like this. Like I am so thankful to be here today. I can't express it enough.
Thank you for coming by.
Did I mention I'm feeling feverish? No, sorry.
oh no!
Oh no!
He's patient zero.
There were so many old guys making that joke. Shake your hand, but I've been coughing and sneezing. That was like
a
lot of that going
like
on.
2 weeks ago. I went to look at an apartment and I like shook the landlord's hand. And I was like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry." And he's like, we're like whatever." And then now it's like, I think if you were to go look at an apartment now, you'd be like, "All right, don't touch me." Like, that's why I wouldn't look at an apartment now, because I'm waiting to see where this economy lands.
Exactly. I mean, I'm waiting to do anything at this point. Because everything is literally up in the air.
Redwood getting postponed. Like, granted, my motorcycle wasn't going to be ready, so like, yay, I get to finish my motorcycle. But boo, Radwood was postponed.
That and New York International were like, those are like the two things I look forward to.
I didn't go. I usually go to the Philly International Auto Show every year, and I didn't go this year. And now I'm like, well, shit.
After you go to New York, you'll never go to the Philly one.
Oh, I'm sure. 100%.
That's the whole thing.
Because the Philly International Auto Show is just a big car dealership. It's all it is. It literally is put on by car dealerships. Like, and I remember I went to the Pittsburgh one. It was like slightly kind of cooler because like there was at least like the MX-5 Club of America was there, and they were like doing some cool stuff. And,
that's nice.
But the New York one is up. Yeah, I mean that's like getting to the level of like the big ones.
Oh, it is. It is the big one.
Well, I mean, isn't like Chicago probably bigger than that, or Detroit or whatever?
Detroit is like the
big one in the U.S.
The
right?
big one in the U.S. because there's like still Motor City. There's Detroit. L.A. I've heard is okay, but it still can't touch New York City. It's like Detroit and New York is the one, and then of course Milan.
And the Geneva,
Tokyo, and Speaking of Tokyo,
I haven't done SEMA ever, and people are still asking me to go to SEMA.
I want to go to SEMA, but at the same time, it's like those builds are all so questionable.
Yeah, that's true. A lot of them are, Bluetooth drive shafts. And
it's
like,
dude,
like
it's like, dude, I don't care. I want to see the technology that everyone, the common man's gonna use. Not all the aftermarket companies, and not to poo-poo on the aftermarket companies because they are doing a lot of good stuff. Like when they like Magnuson last year with all their superchargers that they're coming out with for like the JL and the new Tacoma and all stuff like that. That is so cool because a lot of these aftermarket companies are OEMs. So you get the good and the bad, like with everything.
I just like one of the things I noticed of like I'm not like I ride motorcycles, but being going to see that Modern Classics show at the Martin Moto is like a lot of custom bikes like made by just like people, and they're just like a couple of them are like custom shops, but like it's a kind of a smaller show, and it's so cool seeing the stuff that these people put together. And some of them are just like people who found like, oh, this bike was a barn, like it was a farm bike used to like haul Christmas trees around a farm. And like we found it was like a Honda like Nighthawk or whatever, and like, we bought it, we put new fairings on it, and like and just cleaned it up mechanically, and it was there, and that was what I voted for my like people's choice.
That's cool.
And because there's like a lot of cool stuff like that, and then just like people that had there were bikes that were like, oh, this one has 300 miles on the odometer, and it's like a turbo Honda from the 80s, and I'm like, that's cool, but ride it. And then like I voted for the Nighthawk with 13,000 miles on it that had a troubled past. Like maybe I'm just into vulnerable things, but but no, that was like, it kind of spoke to me, and that's why I want to see, like you're talking about with SEMA, it's just like these insane, like these sterile builds.
Yeah,
where it's like, this is a prime example of this car that we
Nothing.
burp that we then moved like all these brand new parts onto this like sterile car, and it's just like, this car isn't a real life application.
No,
like I like to see the builds that are going to be used, have been used, whatever. Like, and that's why I like car shows. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Going to Ford Nationals, really cool.
That was cool.
Yep. I would love to go to that. You know what else?
I get tired because it's in the summer, and it's just like something about being in the sun for that long.
Oh yeah,
I need a nap after like 2 hours.
Yes, I would love to go to that Steam show you covered. That was really neat.
The Ted Stoltz took me to that. It's not my thing because I didn't know what I was looking at, and I suppose that's the point. You get to go. It's
the exposure
to learn and see all this stuff powered by steam, and it was interesting.
For me, it would be like a one and done. I would go.
It
once
was I mean, go to that Hustle and Pipe or Rumble and Steam or whatever that was called. Go once, like, okay, I saw that. I'm glad steam engines exist. It's just not. And some people are really into it. It was neat seeing that old fire engine.
Yes.
That you had to shovel coal into because there's a boiler, and the steam of the boiler is what shot the steam out. Very, very strange.
It seems almost counterintuitive. It's a fire engine. It's powered by something that's very
hot. Yeah, it's powered by fire.
Could go wrong quickly, maybe. What do I know at this point?
Yeah, I'm just like trying to like watch the chat, but I think they're just having a conversation in there.
Yeah,
it's all good.
Yeah. Well, I think we're gonna wrap this up soon. One last double check to see if any super chats came in.
Yeah, see what's
true.
So,
just in case.
Who is refresh?
This just in case. Sorry, it's like, now that I have an audience, I'm just gonna fucking hit them with disgusting puns. That was like a joke in my office. Was just like, why does Ben has a kid somewhere? Like Ben has.
He can't be that good at puns.
There's no way this dude's like. Like my one coworker, like
somewhere.
My boss will pass gas. My coworker will be like, "Whoa there, that was like." He's like, "Whoa there, gaseous clay," and he was so proud of that one. And then I'm like, "Yeah, if you push any harder, you'll be Muhammad Ali."
Oh my god!
And they were like, "Dude, there's no way you don't have a kid somewhere with them dad jokes." Like, it's just,
Oh my god!
And I don't know why. I get it from my dad, obviously. But it's so bad.
I really admire people who can do puns.
I do too. I am
because I'm
usually
not that fast.
It takes me like a slight delay, but usually I can pull something out of my ass.
Yeah, maybe every once in a blue moon for me, it'll happen. But oh my god,
yeah. My buddy Tom, who occasionally comes out here and does regular beers, he's got 2 daughters and 1 son.
Oh yeah,
and he's like Legolas, throwing those puns. Bam, bam, dad joke. Bam, bam, bam.
It's like that.
I can't even repeat them.
It's like that part of your brain is like locked until you reproduce.
Yeah,
it's so weird.
All righty. Miles HG says, "Thanks, guys. Love this podcast. London is on essentially lockdown right now. We're not allowed to leave our homes unless it's for essential reasons. So this really helps." Thank you. I'm glad this really helped.
Yes,
Miles.
Likewise. Here for
we
you
are
guys.
going to wrap this up for the evening. I guess I made half a dinner. I'll make a little bit more, I suppose. Put some food on this beer, and then
I shouldn't.
A what?
A Sheets.
A Sheets.
A Sheets.
There's a Sheets 2 miles that way,
Down
but
that
I don't know
way.
what Sheets is doing out here as far as made to order.
I think they're only doing made to order.
Okay, can you go inside?
I'm probably gonna just order on my phone and then
Oh, okay.
do that.
Yeah, when I went to a quick check recently, like everything was like no
I know
touchy,
that-
no touchy.
Yeah, self-serve stuff is gone.
Is gone.
Like Wawa, self-serve coffee, Sheets,
well,
self-serve coffee.
You got a guy on the other side of the bar handing you your coffee
Mhm.
cup, or saying like, "What size coffee you want?" "Oh, I want that one," and then he does it for you. It's smart.
I took
but,
my
you know, it
Yaris in for
sucks.
inspection recently, and that was the funniest thing because they're like, we ask you that you pay on your phone with the text that you get, like the link on your text. And I was like, I had issues with it because I failed inspection, and I was like, why am I paying for a sticker when I failed inspection? And they're like, oh, well, when you bring it back and it's good, then you won't pay for the sticker. I was like, what if it's past the X amount of days that you're gonna? Anyway, so like I had handed my paperwork back and forth to them 4 times, and I was like, do you still want me to pay on the app? And they're like, yeah. And I was like, why you can't just run my card? Like I've already touched your hands enough times.
No.
But whatever. That was also like a week ago or 2 weeks ago, so
Right.
it was like
Mhm.
before things got wild.
Mhm.
Anyway, yeah, it's
All right.
weird times we live in.
Weird times,
Weird
but we'll make
times.
it.
We'll make it.
Yeah. So that's it. For RCR podcast, whatever number this is, I will not change the title because I'll forget about it later.
God bless.
So to everybody else watching this, thank you for hanging out with us. That was 2 hours and 13 minutes.
Man, we're
Feels like it
doing
was
good.
13 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really does. I could keep going on this all night.
It's
Yeah.
been a
This is
while. Like
fantastic.
I miss the radio stuff.
I miss
do.
the radio
Oh my
stuff.
goodness.
Yeah.
I see why you do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's even better. Like I wish I could get like daisy chain up because everybody could have their headphones. It's so much better with headphones.
Right.
of
Yeah.
Right.
course.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Hashtag Jerry. What?
Train by day, Joe Rogan podcast by night. All day. So for RCR, I'm Brian.
I'm Ben.
I'm Kyle.
Thank you for watching. Have a great night.
So long.